Here we go. We've started a debate. What do you got, Scotty?
Dead wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I love fries in all shapes, sizes.
However God made them, huh?
But not curly fries.
I love those too.
I mean, if you,
It's a bottom tier fry.
if you
Nonsense.
if you went to a place that
Get out of here.
if you went to a place that has the meat, those are
I'm not a fan of those.
Those are the worst fries.
I'm trying to think of who has one. I ate one recently that I like. I don't care for those that you're talking about, the place that has the meat, the beef or whatever it is. Who's got one that I like, though? I ate it recently.
It's the meats, and their fries are good too.
They're horrible,
Trash.
in this guy's opinion.
In one man's opinion.
Yep.
Dadgummit, who had those curly fries that I like? They're good.
And I'll tell you another thing I don't like about curly fries, because whatever your container you're serving them in, because of their design, you get limited number of fries.
Well, here's what I don't like about them is sometimes they interlock. So you pull one out, like 5 or 6 come out, and you have to separate them and drop
that's
them back
eating
in
up
the container.
space in the container. So now I've been cheated out of French fries.
Yeah.
That aren't even French fries; they're curly fries.
And I cannot.
Brooks brings up a good point. Don't waffle fries do the same thing? They take up space.
They do. I'm not a huge fan of the waffle fry.
I like a good waffle fry.
Do you?
Yeah.
Skin on's the way to go for me. In a barbecue restaurant, skin on's great.
I mean, I don't want to go blue blood, but McDonald's fries are still good.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. Oh, Scott,
gold
Scott went
standard
down.
fry.
That's fine. You can keep your James Madison curly fries. You're not getting my bracket anymore.
I'm not rushing to crush the whole container of curly fries.
But you
before I
are at
get
McDonald's?
home.
Yeah, at McDonald's, it's hard to make them home. I agree. Florida man back in trash. It's every day now. He's facing up to 5 years behind bars for allegedly turning this into a weapon, Dunaway. What gets you 5 years behind bars?
If I open that ketchup right there and I squirt it in somebody's eye, that is shots fired.
It is shots fired, and unfortunately, he had a prior conviction. This gentleman has priors here. So that ketchup packet for him has become a felony weapon. I think maybe we've overcharged this a little bit.
You think so?
Again, did not go to law school at Jacksonville State, want to point out. According to police, 28-year-old Austin Simmons, once great quarterback, was arrested Monday after an incident inside a Florida bus terminal. Officers say he appeared to be passed out when another man, Carlos Mora, stopped to check on him. That's when things escalated. As reported by the Smoking Gun, Simmons allegedly woke up irate, approached Mora, and threw an open ketchup packet at him. Police noted that Mora suffered 2 spots of ketchup on his jacket as a result of the incident. I really think we've overtried. I've got to find something else in here. The arrest affidavit states officers found the packet on the ground, already open, the ketchup spilling out. The packet holds roughly
wait a second. Help me out
3/10
here.
of an ounce. Yeah.
So this is a story in America right now where Austin Simmons is the one charged and Carlos is not?
Carlos is they tried to wake him up. Police say Simmons denied striking Mora with a condiment, but reportedly admitted giving the victim a ketchup packet. Although this type of incident is usually treated as a misdemeanor, Simmons was charged with third-degree felony due to a prior 2019 battery conviction. Being held on $5,000 bond.
Yeah, if I was Carlos, I'd go ahead and tell him to accept the settlement right here and not go to trial.
And finally, a YouTuber looking for attention is taking the New Year, New Me mantra to the next level.
Your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the next round anywhere with nextround.store.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777. Or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. Because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical office is Birmingham.
Jim Dunaway. Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We go live back in studio now on a Tuesday. LT travel day back from Seattle. Hopefully he makes it back here Wednesday. Jim Dunaway, Ryan Brown, all the guys behind the big glass back with us today, including Forrester, Tyler, and Brooks back there. There's developing or new Bediako stuff. I just don't want to start another show with that. So we'll get to that coming up in just a second here in the first segment. And some of the stuff that's going on around basketball last night and tonight on the hardwood. I do want to start with some college football.
Okay, that's always a good place to.
Yeah, and there seems to be a discussion or a willingness to discuss the targeting rule in college football before we play football again in 200 and so days. And I think the discussion they're going to have is going to be about tiering this thing, not crying about it, but putting a level of targeting that I think we've all wanted. Is that something you would be interested in? Is that exciting to you? And what is the tier system you would love to see in place?
So I've talked about this for years, that we need tiered targeting. In my mind, this is how it has always worked. Any targeting is reviewed as it already is, but part of the review now is, was this malicious targeting? Was it a headhunter? Or was this incidental targeting? Guy goes in for the tackle, running back, reduces his body, creates a head-to-head. Guy's going for the interception, doesn't really see the receiver, creates head-to-head. That's incidental targeting.
Right.
Now, everybody's going to say, oh, it's so subjective. Well, it's better than what we got right now, which is any targeting throws you out of the game. So I'd rather it be subjective by review or by the head official or whoever's doing this than just anything is out of the game. So in my mind, Dunaway, the way it would work is incidental targeting still is targeting. You still got a 15-yard penalty if you want, but the player's not ejected. Now, if he targets again in this same game, whether incidental or not, go ahead and eject him if you want to do that, if you still want to have some teeth to it. If it is viewed as head-hunting targeting, receiver's going across the middle, DB squares him up, squats, lunges, leans his head in, goes head to face mask, head to helmet, toss him. I'm fine with that. 15 yards, toss him. But I do think we need tiered where we've at least got a little bit the way they do in college basketball with flagrant 1, flagrant 2, have an incidental and a malicious targeting, and those carry different penalties.
They are looking at some variations of that in this off season. Some of the rule changes that will be considered for college football next year. The vicious, malicious, lowering the head, trying to blow somebody up, still with a 15-yard penalty, still with an ejection, and still the potential that would be decided afterwards of suspension in the next game.
Okay.
Where you're out the first half of the next game. That would be dependent on after game review.
Right.
A targeting where you get a 15-yard penalty, and they use the shoulder hit in the playoffs on Caden Lee. I
got to remember that one.
Was that Miami? I think that was the Miami game that caused Lucas to be out.
Okay.
Of the first half of the national championship. A shoulder to the helmet that's almost caused by the receiver going down.
That's right.
As much as the defender trying to hit. 15-yard penalty, no ejection, but it's still a targeting call, but it's more like a personal foul, like a chop block or something like that. So that's one of the things they're going to look at of maybe adding layers to it. And I think every college football fan would find some interest because targeting went in, I want to say it was the 2020, 2019 season. It's been around longer than that, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know the season targeting started, but it goes back before 2019, 2020. I want to say, Jim, 14 or 15, somewhere in there. Yeah. I may not be going far enough back then.
Yeah, you would agree, though, that I think players have learned it's worked. People tackle and hit differently than they used to.
Yeah, I think it has it's reached its desired goal, I think, that we've really, really minimized helmet-to-helmet hits over the middle primarily. I mean, that's where you're going to find most of them, right? So I think the goal has been achieved to the point that I think you've changed the way the game is played and coached. Like, coaches are coaching how not to target, aren't they? Wouldn't you assume that? I mean, I don't think players just decided, I'm going to do it different.
No, but when you're getting ejected, you adjust.
But I still think a 15-yard penalty would be enough for coaches to still coach. Let's don't target. Like, there is no benefit to a coach saying, okay, now we can ignore targeting. There's no more 15-yard penalty. I mean, there's no more ejection. We'll take a 15-yard penalty. I mean, I don't think a coach is going to do that. So I think you've reached your desired objective to the point now you could say, okay, let's make it a fair rule now. And there's already some subjective nature in it because it already goes to replay and we have to look, all right, did he lead with the crown of his helmet? Did he launch? Did he meet any of these indicators?
And they did narrow it up this past year to where it's got to be up here. It can't be just helmet to helmet.
That's right. It's the crown of the helmet, But even that's subjective. Where does the crown start? Where does it end, right? So you've already got a subjective element in it, so why not add this in too? Like, okay, does this look on the surface like a malicious hit or not? And I'm all for, look, I think we ought to review, I know this sounds crazy. I'm not saying stop the game. I think we ought to review more plays. I think pass interference is hard to call in the heat of the moment. I think there are times where on replay you're like, ooh, I think I see what the ref was looking at, but he didn't see it right from his angle. Like, I don't know why we have technology to get stuff right and we just ignore that technology. We've got technology where we can look at a hit over the middle and a reasonable person could sit there and say he wasn't trying to blow him up. Like, the receiver caught the ball and, his body reduced after the guy had already started to hit. He's not trying to blow him up. It was that created the targeting. We could still call 15 yards, but this guy does not deserve to be ejected for that.
Yeah, so that's one thing they're looking at. A lot of you dislike the NFL kickoff. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, though. Yeah, okay. I'll just start with yes. I'll save my though for later on.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
A lot of people do not like the NFL kickoff rules where you're lined up with a whole basically line of scrimmage down the field. The kicker is by himself. It just doesn't look like football, though I think you're getting more and more used to it every time you watch the NFL. But it's still shocking because you watch college football and high school football with the traditional kickoffs. I believe this quote's from Steve Shaw to Yahoo Sports. There's no medical player safety driver to push us to change the kickoff right now, or at least that's coming from a college football executive. Okay, that's a college football executive. And so that is, right now, there's no appetite in college football to change the kickoff rule because they are happy with the return rate. In college, they put in the fair catch that you inside the 20, I think it is, you can signal fair catch and get it brought out just like it was kicked out of the back of the end zone. There's a lot of player safety they put in there already. So good news is if you don't like the NFL kickoff, it doesn't look like it's on the table to come to college football anytime soon.
My bigger issue, Jim, with the NFL kickoff is not how weird it looks. And I watch a lot of NFL. I still fail to completely understand the whole landing zone and all of that and where the ball comes out to and why it does.
Yeah.
Like the whole rule of where the guys line up, I've gotten used to that. It really doesn't look weird to me anymore. I'm just used to it. I mean, I've seen it now for a couple of years in the NFL. I still, as much as I've watched, don't entirely understand the landing zone and how you get penalized, why the ball sometimes comes out to the 40, why it sometimes starts at the 20. Like, I don't understand all of that. That's the part I fail to grasp.
So that's some of the rules that are being brought up in the Rules Committee in this offseason as we get closer and closer to another offseason of college football, just wrapping up the national championship, one more football game of meaning, and that is the Super Bowl, of course, on the NFL level. To the basketball news, how Charles Bediako's case here in Tuscaloosa and wherever it ends up could impact college football. Basketball tonight with Bediako and Alabama back in action. All that coming up after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at CPAP Plus. That's Sleep Home Alabama.
It's sleephomealabama.com. That is the website to go to for our friends at O'Neill Medical and CPAP Plus. A couple things I want to tell you about. Number one, those of you that use a CPAP, it's constantly requiring new supplies, and sometimes those can get delayed through mail. Sometimes the orders get messed up. it can be really, really difficult. Well, that's where our friends at CPAP Plus come in. They have got those supplies. They take care of you. They make sure you get them in a timely fashion when you need them, not after you need them, right? That's CPAP Plus. You can find their locations throughout Birmingham, Trussville, Pelham, Foley, and Troy at sleephomealabama.com. But they also have the best in-home sleep testing. You need to know if you need to be on a CPAP, if you've got an issue. A lot of times you got to go somewhere, sleep overnight, be hooked up to a bunch of machines. No, sir. Not with our friends at Sleep Home Alabama. No lab, no insurance required, no delay. They test your test in mere moments, and you know right away if you need their help. You can see more and just go ahead and get your information started at sleephomealabama.com for CPAP Plus, sleephomealabama.com.
And our friends at Hemp Hill Services, I'll tell you about Lance's Lock in a second, but our friends at Hemp Hill take care of you when it comes to your heating, cooling, and plumbing company, and they're a local company. Locally owned since 1954. Birmingham has trusted them, and you can call that number 205-229-2090, 229-2090. If you're experiencing any issues with your heating on this cold Tuesday or plumbing, cooling in the hot days of summer around here, they've got you covered with a 24/7 emergency hotline as well. Fully qualified and insured, and all their work is guaranteed. It's our friends at Hemp Hill Services, so go check them out, our friends at Hemp Hill. All right, the nuts and bolts of the Bediako case first off. And Tyler, if you will, you go ahead and get me cut 2 ready to go with Nate Oates from yesterday. But Charles Bediako, his trial today was supposed to be about the injunction, the NCAA with lawyers and such, but the NCAA themselves, the attorneys representing the NCAA, asked for an extension on the temporary restraining order to allow Bediako 10 more days to play because they were not able to get to town because of weather for the trial that was scheduled today. So the NCAA now, it should be noted, it wasn't Alabama, it was the NCAA that requested the extension. They're also, as you see on the screen, requesting that the judge recuse himself from Charles Bediako, from that case. Very well-worded and nice request from Taylor Askew. It was basically saying, listen, we don't think you've done anything wrong. We don't think you're biased in your ruling. We don't think the court is biased. We fully trust the court and all of that. But the perception around the country has been so loud because of your ties to the Alabama athletic program. We think it is best that you recuse yourself. We'll see what Judge James Roberts ends up doing.
They included a Reddit thread as part of it. Did you see that as part of their case?
I did, yes.
Yeah. But I mean, so if this judge recuses himself, and I'm sure the NCAA would love this not to be heard in the state of Alabama, but it's going to be. How many judges, the percentage of judges in Alabama do you think went to Bama law?
I told that to Dusty and Danny yesterday, and they were like, I can't believe they ended up with a judge that was an Alabama booster. And I said, well, guys, I don't want this to sound like my cousin Vinny here, but Alabama School of Law is pretty big.
Yeah, when you've got the in-state School of Law, you're probably going to have a lot of judges in state. Yeah,
you're gonna be more judges that went to Alabama probably than other law schools.
Correct.
In the state.
Yes.
Maybe it's closer than I expect. But that is the extension for Bediako. So 10 more days he's allowed to play. Eventually his court case will be heard. But this temporary restraining order, it is 10 days or until a trial can be had to change that temporary restraining order. So Bediako is good to go until the NCAA lawyers, Taylor Askew and his team, can get there and have a hearing with currently Judge James Roberts over there. So Bediako in action tonight for Alabama as Missouri is in town. Missouri and Alabama, 7 o'clock tonight. Alabama, a 10.5-point favorite in that contest. Here is Nate Oates when he gets asked about the Bediako situation. And the thing I've been asking, has it been worth it? Here's Nate.
Would you say that this whole process has been worth it?
Yeah, 100%. Everywhere I've been, and going back to my high school days, I'm going to do right by my players in every single situation as long as they didn't do anything wrong. Charles has done nothing wrong. Charles and his agent and his attorneys have seen what's gone on in the landscape of college basketball and all the former pros that are playing. Just about everybody we play's got one, and they've seen who the NCAA is allowed to be eligible, and they didn't see any reason why Charles won't be eligible, and I agree with them. So, yeah, I no matter what all the talking heads saying, I really don't really pay attention to it. I'm trying to focus on our team winning, but yeah, when they came to me and they wanted to get him eligible, and I agreed with their reasoning, the whole thing, I will stand by our guys every single time, no matter what the outside says, when they've done nothing wrong. And Charles has done everything right. He's eligible to play, and he's going to continue to play as long as he's eligible to play.
That's Nate Oates there. And, boy, that's what I've been waiting to hear from him because, you know, that was the mic never got to me after the game the other night because that was going to be my question was, is this all worth it?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Because Nate Oates has the best reputation in college basketball as a guy who can win basketball games. His style of play is being duplicated and emulated in a lot of places, and he has done wonders at Alabama, including getting him a number 1 overall seed. Now, ended up falling short when it was actually Bediako's last team. They get bounced in the round of 16. He's taken them to their first Final Four, backed that up with an Elite Eight last year. He's won regular season championships, conference tournaments. The guy has checked every box, and that's why I was wondering, is the juice worth the squeeze in this with all the information and all the talking heads, as he puts it, and it's a word we use on this show a lot, having a chance to get their pound of flesh from Nate Oates in the Alabama program? Is it all worth it? And he says it is, and I love the way he says, I'm going to defend my guys every time.
The one thing I've learned about Nate Oates, and we've gotten to know Nate pretty well in his time here, and just observing him beyond even knowing him, he does not mind being the villain, though. Would you agree with that?
He does not.
I don't. In fact, sometimes I wonder if he embraces being the villain.
Yes.
Like, Nate is, I told somebody this the other day. They were asking about this whole deal, and like, boy, I bet Nate, he dreads the press conference when he's got to first talk about Bediako. I was like, oh, you don't know Nate Oates then? He does not. I was like, Nate Oates is probably the most forthcoming coach I have ever dealt with in my career, and I've dealt with a lot of coaches in my career. And by forthcoming, let me define what I mean by that. Like, how often do you ask Nate a question and he just dances around the answer? Very rarely, if ever. Like, he's going to give you an answer, and there are a lot of times where he's given an answer where we're like, whew, well, I wonder if Nate thought through that one. And I think he does. I think he just doesn't care. He's a guy that says what's on his mind. And it doesn't care if it makes him the villain or not. So I think in a lot of ways he made that decision. The reason I bring all that up is I tell you one thing that I don't think factored into this decision for Nate Oates is how the PR game would play. Like, I don't think he sat for 2 seconds and thought, if I bring Bediako back, what will the national media say? If I bring Bediako back, what will opposing fans say? If I bring Bediako back, what will College Game Day say? I don't think Nate Oates spent 2 seconds thinking about that.
For the record, this from Field of 68 today in the newsletter I get from those guys. Just always great basketball content. Field of 68, they've got a YouTube channel, much like we have here, that you can go get great content on. And they say there are 75 international players playing at a high level of college basketball this season.
Say that number again.
75 international players that have some form of professional experience, most of them in their 20s when they come and play here for the first time.
So most of them with professional experience out of the 75 is the way they word that?
Yeah. No, 75 with professional experience.
Professional experience. Okay. I just
75 international players with professional experience.
Yeah.
Now, we've defined the semi-pro experience that you get instead of college internationally. But some of these guys have played at the second best league in the world in the Euros.
Yeah.
And some of those guys have played, at a level that their champion would beat the Bluecoats in the G League in a 4-game sweep if they played. So, I mean, it is a moving target. And we go back to the case that really had Nate Oates scratching his head, and that was the Baylor kid who got drafted in the first round. And the only thing that seems to be separating Bediako from these other rulings is that he signed a couple of two-way contracts but never appeared in an NBA game.
Well, the thing that, and it's brought up right here immediately in the chat, the thing that that gets brought up a lot in this is, but Bediako waived his collegiate eligibility. And you got to understand.
Yeah, so did that Baylor kid.
Oh, he did, but when this is in a court of law, they're not looking at it from, wow, I can't believe Nate Oates is doing this, or, oh, Alabama needed a big guy, so they went running. They're going to look at it on, okay, why is this guy ineligible for being a pro and this guy is not? And the NCAA's argument would be, well, the Europeans don't have college, so when they play pro basketball, that's kind of their college. And the courts will have to say, oh, okay, that makes sense. Or, now, wait a minute, you can't say they can go play pro ball, but a guy that is in America can't go play pro ball just because he was able to play college. And then people would say, but he waived his eligibility. The thing that caused him to waive his eligibility was being a pro makes you ineligible. If the courts rule that being a pro no longer makes you ineligible, then Bediako didn't waive his eligibility in hindsight. I mean, that's what I don't think people can really grasp here. That's my understanding of it anyway. And I don't think people really grasp that is, like, if a judge says, or courts of law, or, this gets litigated forever, and they come back and rule, well, the NCAA, by their own choice, has established that being a pro no longer means you're ineligible, then this is no different than if, again, Bediako left after his junior year, went and worked, at a car wash in Tuscaloosa, and then decided to come back and play his senior year. Yeah. There is no difference at that point.
I'm trying really hard not to just repeat the same show from Thursday, Friday, Monday on the Bediako stuff. A lot of this stuff, you guys, we've talked about it several days. Just trying to hit the new stuff involved here, which was the Bediako extension, playing again tonight. 75 international players, according to Field of 68, most of them already in their 20s with pro experience. And then there was an AP voter yesterday, Connor Eargood, Detroit News, Michigan Daily. He's one of the AP poll voters, and he did not put Alabama in. Alabama ended up 23 in the rankings. Listen, I'd have no problem you not voting Alabama in because they lost the game again to Tennessee, and you don't think they're one of the 25 best teams in America. I think you can make an argument for that and leave them off your AP ballot and not have them in your top 25. I wouldn't bat an eye at that. I don't know if they're one of the 25 best teams in basketball right now. But Connor Eargood says today's AP poll is out. A note on my ballot, I did not rank Alabama this week. I will not rank a team that has to circumvent the rules through a court order just to win and still lost. To me, that's a team admitting its own weakness. So that's a guy who voted in the AP poll. Again, he could have just said, I didn't put Alabama in my top 25 because I don't think they're one of the 25 best teams in America. And I don't know if they are right now with all the injuries and everything. Another loss to Tennessee at home. I think you can make a case that they're not a top 25 team right now. But there's a guy who's using his voice through an AP poll ballot saying, I'm not going to rank them.
Which, by the way, I support his right to do that. I have voted in the Associated Press football poll. Have you voted in the basketball? You voted in the football as well.
Football, yeah.
As I remember it, Jim, and you could correct me if I'm wrong because it was all the way back in 2013 when I was an AP football voter. They just tell you vote for who you think are the best 25 teams in college football. They don't give you any sort of guidelines other than you vote for your best 25, right? So as a voter, you ought to get full leeway to vote who you think are the best 25. So I think this guy
but he's not saying he's not saying they're not one of the best 25.
Well, he is. He's saying I don't think they are because they admitted their weakness.
He's saying I will not vote for them.
Right.
So if they go on a 10-game win streak here, so Connor Eargood is not going to put him in his AP top 25
He's not
ballot.
going to because he doesn't think they're one of the top 25 teams because they had a weakness in his mind. They had a weakness they had to break rules to address. So that, in his mind, makes them not a top 25 team.
Go ahead.
No, I'm fine with him voting that way. Also with the understanding that the AP Top 25 means absolutely nothing in football or basketball. So, there will be some hand-wringing over this, and people will get all over this guy. I'm sure he's heard all about it on social media, but ultimately, what is the college basketball poll? Now, if selection committee members start acting this way, maybe you got an issue. But we won't know that until the selection committee acts anyway, and they haven't done that yet. I don't know. Probably I'm not sure when the first, they released their top 16.
Yeah, it's 1 month out.
1 month out.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Coming
Alabama
up, should be not this Sunday, maybe next Sunday.
I don't know if Alabama will be.
Not right now.
They would not be in the running for it right now. But to your point, if they reel off every game between now and then, they certainly would be. And that would be a first telltale.
Crane U, bringing you part of the show here. One more big thing that the Bediako case could impact college football here in this opening segment. No Clay today, by the way. First guest is at 10:30 when Mark Gottfried, former Alabama coach, now big podcaster, will join us at 10:30 to talk about college basketball and Charles Bediako. He has some thoughts on that. But Crane U bringing you this part of the show today.
Yeah, get the Crane training you need today if you're looking for a new career, if you need further training to advance your current career. Crane U can offer you comprehensive, state-of-the-art, fully stocked training facilities for mobile cranes, overhead lifts, or forklift training. You want to use your own equipment? The team at Crane U will come to you on-site, on location. They offer that training nationwide. So make your job easier and your job site safer. Crane U also offers certification and safety inspections to ensure the safest environment possible. Classes available monthly, so find out everything they've got right now. 855-CRANE-U, 855-CRANE-U, or simply online, craneu.com. 10% off. You just mentioned the next round for any of their services. craneu.com or 855-CRANE-U.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Leslie, her board-certified team there. If you'd like to drop some weight and get into better shape, maybe just to get healthier. It helped me control some blood pressure numbers that were getting way too high for me. I just changed my diet and dropped those numbers a little bit. Planforme.com, planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness. No contracts, no sign-up fee, and your first consultation with Leslie and her board-certified team is absolutely free. Injection therapy, meal replacements. I use these protein bars to keep from bad snacking. It's all right there. Planforme.com, Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. This is a hypothetical. I always think of my buddy Nick Saban when I throw out hypotheticals, but off of Charles Bediako, and if however this case goes, but a lot of people believe Alabama's or Charles Bediako's side will end up winning this case, and it'll be another knock on the NCAA on how they try to enforce former pros. I wanted to throw D'Angelo Pons out there.
Okay.
D'Angelo Pons is a kid at Indiana. You guys all saw him. Terrific season, part of the national championship team. We brought him up on how technically he was so good in the semifinals and national championship game, making plays out on the corner. He is, they estimate, 5'9", closer to 5'8" than he is to 5'10". He's that size. If he gets drafted, goes to an NFL camp, and is only on a practice squad, would you be okay with D'Angelo Pons coming back to Indiana next year and playing?
So I was going to bring this up the other day. This is, to me, the next iteration of the Charles Bediako case. So let's assume Bediako gets his injunction. This thing is going to be a couple years down the road if it ever goes to trial. I mean, my guess would be if he gets this injunction and he plays at some point, the NCAA will just say, screw it. Guys can be pro or whatever. I was going to use the example of Quinn Ewers. So Quinn Ewers leaves Texas because Arch Manning's breathing down his neck, and it's obvious Arch Manning's going to be the starter, right? But Ewers still had eligibility left and had a great deal of value in the transfer portal. Like, he wasn't going to play at Texas, but if Quinn Ewers said, no, I'm doing one more year of college football, he would have been a hot commodity in the transfer portal. There's no doubt about that. So what if he goes to the draft and gets drafted where he does, which the Dolphins made him the last quarterback drafted in the draft, way lower than a lot of people thought Ewers would go. What if he does that in April and he's like, dang, I mean, I could go back to college and make $3 million next year. I mean, if the judge upholds this injunction in this Bediako case, I don't fundamentally see a difference in that. Do you?
Yeah, but now, I mean, Quinn Ewers is a confusing example to me now because I've seen him actually play games for your Dolphins. He's my quarterback of record right now for the Dolphins.
Right, but had he done that before? He did that, okay.
But Pons is the guy that's coming up.
Yeah, same situation, same exact situation as Quinn Ewers. I mean, he didn't get drafted where he wanted to get drafted. Now you're playing a scenario where he goes into a camp, which is going to be what, May?
Yeah. Basically,
so?
there's no G League. I guess UFL could be that for comparison.
Yeah.
The G League and the UFL. But he goes and he's on a practice squad, which is like a two-way contract. You're on the team technically, but you're not playing in games. If he never plays in an NFL game, would you be okay with Pons coming back?
I mean,
let's say we're weak. They played their 3-week scheduled out-of-conference games next year, and Indiana doesn't like their corners, and we're getting ready for Big Ten play. 3-0 Indiana knows, much like Alabama knows, if they're going to get where they want to go, they needed a big man inside, so they got Bediako. Here's Pons. He's sitting on the Colts practice squad. Doesn't look like he's going to make it up to the big squad. He knows I can make more money than this practice squad after getting drafted in the 5th round or 7th round. I'm going to go back to Indiana.
I don't see. Am I okay with it? Okay in the same way that I'm okay with a Bediako. Like, I'm okay with a Bediako because I don't personally see a fundamental difference in the European professional experience and the American professional experience. You either, in my mind, it's as simple as you either allow pros to play or you do not. You can't pick and choose which pros you're going to allow. That's the way I confront this.
It seems like a pretty good defining line to me if we just say, if you ever play in a regular season or postseason NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball.
So postseason's going to be our dividing line?
Well, regular season.
Regular season.
Games that
right.
count.
Gotcha.
Not an exhibition game.
Right.
Because you have a lot of guys trying to make the team an exhibition. Not the UFL, not the G League, not with the Barons.
Yeah.
That's where, hey, trust me, because college baseball has grown more to being a feeder system to Major League Baseball than it was, because Major League Baseball is trying to cut the minor leagues to let college do for them what they do for basketball in the NFL. That's why you see so many of the minor league teams that have been cut in the last 15 years in the Major League system, because they're like, hey, the NBA and the NFL have it really good. We're going to let the college baseball sort of grow and be our feeder system, and it has, and it's helped college baseball. But there are still some guys who have left college and gone, and they're struggling in AA or AAA, and they're not making it up to the big squad. Are you okay with those guys coming back and swinging bats for Ole Miss and Mississippi State and Bama and Auburn?
To answer your question, yes. And here's why. I'll explain my standing, though someone has told me in the chat I'm okay with it because I have zero moral compass. I feel like that's a bit harsh, don't you? Like, I don't think my measure of a moral compass is whether or not I think guys should be able to play college sports. I'm okay with it because all I want is entertainment. Like, that's the way I approach this, Jim, is I want an entertaining. Is Alabama more entertaining with Charles Bediako? I think probably yes.
Yeah.
That's all I really care about. So I want to be entertained.
And that was your stance Friday as well. You said that last week. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be entertained. Like, I didn't get wound up like when the G League guy came to Baylor. Now that guy's only averaged like a point a game, right? He has been a non-contributor for them.
Bediako was the best player on Alabama's when you do the metrics. He was in the plus minus, he was plus 10. He was the best metric-wise Bama player on the floor the other night.
So I remember the day, I was completely unaware of this G League story, this Najee guy. I remember the day it came up on the show because we played Tom Izzo responding to it. You remember?
Yep.
And I think you had to explain to me what was even going on with the G League thing. And I remember that day saying, what are we doing here? I had no idea this was the case, but I'm like, I don't guess I really care. I mean, why would I get all wound up about that? Like, I get Izzo and all that. So, yeah, I mean, to answer your question, am I okay with it? I'm okay with it in the same way as Bediako. It is weird. It is different. It is not the sport I grew up with. But if it makes the sport more entertaining, and I would just say, I don't know how you can say one set of pro players can play, but the guy that goes through the NFL draft and is on a practice squad and doesn't like where he is can't come back and play. I don't know how you draw that line. It seems like a slippery slope that we're on already when you draw that line. Now, the NFL's going to want to get involved at that point, though. Like, when you start having guys leave NFL rosters to come back to college football, they're going to go, whoa, we cannot have this.
Especially if I've wasted a draft pick on a kid.
Yeah.
Which I forget who drafted the Baylor guy 31st in the first round. First of all, what a horrible pick.
Yeah, he's only averaging a point a game at Baylor. I mean,
you drafted a guy in the first round, and he, A, didn't make it on your roster, and B, he is already back in college and averaging 1 a game.
Yeah.
I mean, what a horrible – I mean, that front office hopefully not still employed today.
No, I mean, I'm 100% with you. Like, how did that guy get drafted to the first round?
Yeah. All right, show being brought to you by our friend Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. When we come back, a movement in the Mensa case, and USA Today has the 10 college football teams most likely to be in line to win to be the next team to win their first national championship. It gets weird real quickly at 4 and 5 for SEC fans.
Oh, no. I like weird, though. Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. That is where you go when you're in need of any legal assistance. Shannara.com is the place you start. Shannara.com for Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. When you find yourself in need of a lawyer, that's where you go. His mission, create a firm that can handle any issue his community faced. Well, he's done that. They handle not just personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. They've recovered more than $2 billion for their clients. So when you find yourself in need of that lawyer, Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys, Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
And there's only one Odie's Tavern. Actually, there's 2 of them, but the brand Odie's is known for years and years. The traditional location in Crestline, the newest location in Edgewood there. You can go by and get a great lunch or dinner. Open at 11 a.m. every day. And the kitchen's open 11 to 9, cocktails after that. These guys have trivia there on Wednesday night, live music on the weekend. Odie's Tavern, the perfect spot for a delicious bite to eat, a cocktail after work, and even those late nights out in a fun village setting. Again, at Crestline and on Edgewood is our wonderful friends at Odie's.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shannara trial attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777. Or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shannara trial attorneys. Because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical office is Birmingham.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels, January 30th through February 1st at the BJCC with customs, classics, hot rods, and more. Don't miss the Golden Riders motorcycle stunt team, plus BMX stunt teams performing outrageous stunts live. Friday, meet WWE star Rikishi. Saturday is Kevin Mack from Counts Customs. And Sunday, meet TV host Courtney Hansen. Bring the kids for free Hot Wheels racing, costume characters, rides, and more. Get discount tickets at all O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Details at worldofwheels.net.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
Hey, basketball tonight, as I said, in the SEC, Arkansas a 2.5-point favorite at Oklahoma. Because of the weather, no charge if you want to go to that game. They'll just let you in. So they're going to play the game, but they understand in Norman, hey, maybe a lot of people aren't going to travel. They've been struggling with attendance anyway, it looks like, when I watch their games on TV. Surprising that Arkansas is only a 2.5-point favorite, 6 o'clock ESPN for that one. Second half of that doubleheader is Kentucky and Vandy, a good one there in Nashville. Kentucky's won 5 straight. Who's the favorite in that one, you think? Vandy's lost 3 straight. Kentucky's won 5 straight.
It's unfair that I've already looked at that, but I was a little bit surprised at how big the line actually was.
Vandy 6.5.
Yeah. I would imagine people struggle to get to that game, too. I mean, Nashville's a complete mess.
8 o'clock on ESPN for that one. Tennessee and Georgia moved their game from Tuesday to Wednesday. Did that as a precautionary measure before the storm. And that puts Alabama's game moved up from 8 o'clock to 7 o'clock tonight. 7 o'clock SEC Network, Missouri and Alabama. Forrester said, Jim, what do you think the betting line is on Alabama? Before I'd looked at it, I said, Alabama maybe minus 5.5. Missouri's pretty good.
Gonna need to double that.
Yeah, it's 10.5.
Yep.
10.5 there. Missouri at Alabama happening tonight. Nate Oates, this is maybe a reason why this is such a big number now for Alabama. He gives us an update on Aiden Holloway and Allen there, Amari Allen, as Alabama gets ready to play Missouri tonight.
Big game against Missouri, and it became bigger than what maybe even it looked like with us being 3-3 now and dropping 2 home games, in order to stay in the hunt. We're going to have to go ahead and win some games here that, we got 4 games in a row. All 4 of the teams are ahead of us in the SEC rankings. So we've got the first one at home. We got to be locked in. We got to do better. I mean, we went to their place last year and got drilled. We had a terrible start. Anticipating us having a better start. We need to get healthy. It's apparent. We've had these injuries all year. Holloway was able to practice today, provided there's no setbacks. I anticipate him playing tomorrow. Mari did not practice, so my guess would be he's doubtful. But we'll see what he feels like in the morning.
Okay, that's the update on Holloway and Allen there. So that basketball game happening tonight. More college football in this segment coming up after Brownie tells us about the great folks at World of Wills.
WorldofWills.net is the website to go to find out all the information on the 55th Annual O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wills. Everything I'm talking about right now is right there at WorldofWills.net, including Friday. Rikishi, the WWE wrestler, signing on stage autographs 4 to 7. Saturday, Kevin Mack from Counts Custom signing autographs. Sunday, TV host and personality Courtney Hansen will be signing autographs there. 3 to 9 Friday, 9 to 10 Saturday, 10 to 6 Sunday. The O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels 55th Annual Edition right there at the BJCC North, South, and East Exhibition Halls. You can get tickets at the door, but you can get discount tickets at any O'Reilly Auto Parts store right now. So swing by any local O'Reilly Auto Parts store and get tickets for the 55th Annual O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels Custom Auto Show. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, BJCC North, South, and East Exhibition Halls. You can see all the info. Worldofwheels.net, worldofwheels.net.
Okay, so Paul Meyerberg of the USA Today, folks, they write this story for this morning when I jumped on their website, and it titled 10 Schools with the Best Chance to be the Next First-Time College Football National Champion. I was like, oh, we've talked about this already.
Yeah.
So I was like, going to be the usual folks. Oregon is number one. No shock there.
I think almost anyone would put them there. They've been so close in the past, and it just seems like a matter of time.
Because of their spending, Texas Tech was 2. No problem there.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get on board with that. But okay.
Baylor is 3 for the same reason Texas Tech is 2. Baylor's about to start spending some money to help Dave Aranda out. Then it gets weird at 4 and 5. Weird if you're an SEC fan. Because with the 4th best chance, according to USA Today, to be a first-time national champion, they have Arkansas. Now, Arkansas probably would tell you they're the 1964 national champions.
Right.
The 64 Razorbacks were 11-0, but finished number 2 back then with the 2 major polls.
Oh, I thought they had an AP championship. They don't have an AP championship?
Not according to USA Today.
Okay, I thought they did.
That being said, with or without one, putting Arkansas on this list, they seem to be far, far away, but they believe because of funding and everything with the Tyson money and everything, they think Arkansas can get into the NIL world if they tap into the Tyson and the Walmart brand like they've done in basketball recently.
Yeah, I feel like that is the old, well, they got a bunch of money up there. Surely some of that money will go to Arkansas NIL. And I think we make that assumption a little too quickly, that billionaires are just going to hand their money over to NIL and not get a return on investment. There's plenty of money up in Northwest Arkansas, but I don't know if I'm willing to go that far.
Paul Meyerberg puts Kentucky as the 5th best chance to win their first national champion after Oregon, Texas Tech, Baylor, Arkansas, and then Kentucky. If you've been watching this offseason, Kentucky does look different in the portal world with Will Stein, their new coach there. Like Indiana, Kentucky is a basketball school with the financial resources to pay for an elite football roster if and when they choose to do that, is what he writes.
Yeah, if and when being the key there. Now, you tell me, you lived in Lexington for a bit. You tell me there's plenty of money up there.
Oh, yeah. Kentucky always expected to earmark a significant chunk of their money, though, towards men's basketball.
Well, see, that's the thing is like in the rev share, I think, didn't we do the story that it's 60-40 in the rev share money, 60 to football, 40 to basketball, which is significantly higher for basketball than any other SEC school, I think.
Yeah, I think most other SEC schools running about 14%.
Yeah. And
men's basketball.
And I think I remember the Kentucky basketball share was 40, if I remember correctly. I remember it being significantly higher than the rest of the SEC. So, that just shows you that for every dollar that comes in, there's going to be more going to basketball than any other SEC school. I disagree completely with his top 2 SEC schools, honestly.
He put Virginia Tech at 6, one we discussed. South Carolina, 7.
I think he's missing 2 obvious SEC schools.
The Gamecocks nearly earned it at large bid in 2024. They have done a good job of retaining their difference makers this year. That includes Lenore Sellers and Dylan Stewart. Building the depth needed to win 3 or 4 playoff games is going to be a challenge for the Gamecocks, but they believe they have the financial backing. They round out SMU, Louisville, and Houston as the top 10. Obviously, we know the money SMU has, Louisville, and Houston. That's Paul Meyerberg, USA Today. 10 schools most likely to be in line to win their first national championship.
Now, there is a chance that Paul is considering both these schools having a national championship, and the reason he would leave Ole Miss and Texas A&M off the list. Would you assume that?
Not if he's being as strict for Arkansas. Arkansas has more of a claim to one than Ole Miss does, I believe.
But and A&M.
Brooks, you did that graphic, right? Ole Miss's national championship that they claim, none of those were the AP or the coaches poll, correct?
1960, I believe that's the most verified one. They also claim like 1962. That one's not legitimate, but
1960 was Football Writers, I think, maybe.
The NCAA verifies as a split national championship in 1960 between Ole Miss and Minnesota.
Okay.
Oh, what a season that was. Ole Miss and Minnesota.
So probably Meyerberg takes him off the table.
Okay, all right. Because, I mean, literally just played in the semifinals. It's kind of hard to ignore that part of it. And then A&M's was 1939. Like we talked about, World War II kind of being a de facto.
No, that's definitely a legit
sand.
national champion. That was AP or coaches, wasn't it, Brooks?
That was AP because AP polls started 1936. So.
So, I mean, obviously there's a lot of money in those two. If we go really, really strict and take Ole Miss and Texas A&M, that's going to be my first two in the SEC. I got to see Arkansas invest in it first, and I got to see Kentucky invest in football with the same passion in which they invest in basketball before I'll believe that. And then the third one was who? I forget now.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Well, I tell you what, it was not too long ago, South Carolina was not only behind in NIL, Jim, they were behind in the NIL that was already promised to players.
That's right.
Like they didn't have the dollar amount. They were calling boosters basically saying, hey, we don't have enough money to pay what we've promised. That wasn't even just like our coffers are empty. It's like we can't even pay what we've promised right now. So for them to compete in an NIL world, they got to get way better than that, obviously.
Our show being brought to you by our friends at A+. A lot to get to before we get to the top of the hour. A+ can get to your kitchen and bathroom quickly.
They absolutely can. That is our guy, Brad Bell. You can see more at alabamabathremodels.com. More before and afters in addition to what Scott's showing you of the before and afters of my bathroom. alabamabathremodels.com is going to get you to Brad Bell. Now, what he specializes in, master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. I'm not saying that's all Brad does. I'm just saying that is his specialty, which means there's a reason, right? And the reason is you spend a lot of time in those rooms. When you got your home, you want them to look the best they possibly can and work the best they can. But then when you go to sell your home, think about when you've toured a home looking to buy it, you look at the master bathroom, don't you? You look at the kitchen. You want it updated. The master bedroom closets really jump when they are nice. That's why Brad tells you this, right? Do it with that in mind as well. Here's Brad's number, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, or alabamabathremodels.com.
And our friends at New York Butcher Shop, always ready to host LT and you when it's time to get your fresh meats there. It's that great butcher shop quality with meats there. And they do a lot more than that at both their locations, Cahaba Heights and Greystone. They have wonderful pre-prepared meals for you. They make great deli sandwiches, just like you're walking the streets of the Big Apple. And they do catering as well. Those two locations, you see them on the screen, Cahaba Heights and Greystone. Go by there for the hand-cut certified Angus steaks, the heritage breed pork, the naturally raised and hormone and antibiotic-free chicken, and the freshly prepared entrees and sides. It's all right there, NewYorkButcher.com, NYButcher.com, Cahaba Heights and Greystone for our friends at New York Butcher. John Summerall, this close to being the Auburn coach, I felt like.
Oh, yeah?
But he's the Florida head coach. But Forrester, didn't you feel like he was this close to being the Auburn coach before it was Alex Golesh? Didn't you feel like there was a moment there that it was going to be John Summerall?
I did. There were a few of those of us maybe wishing that into existence, but
here's cut 5 and cut 6. Tyler, cut 5 first. Amari Nugent was on a visit at Florida. He's a big Florida target in the 2027 recruiting class. Auburn and Florida are playing basketball in the background at the O'Connell Center. John Summerall had given his halftime official introduction to the student body and crowd there. He grabs a mic. We've seen that 1,000 times. He comes off the court. Amari Nugent is waiting to become his first official commit as the Florida head coach. Watch how it plays out.
What do you got, dog? Are you good? Good. What do you got?
So Summerall gets his first commitment there from Amari Nugent, officially as the Florida head coach.
I mean, he bodied him.
A lot of excitement there from Summerall. And Tyler, as we go to cut 6 here, that is the buzz you're getting from Florida folks, that a new kind of energy around the Florida program with the new coach, John Summerall, who had a chance to talk to the media about trying to get the fire burning under the Florida players again.
You got to earn it. You got to earn the logo, man. Like, we ain't earned it yet. We ain't earned a damn thing. Like, all we've got's our name. We're going to put our freaking name on every day. All right? And so to wear the Florida Gator logo, to wear the Gators across your helmet and script, or to wear the Gator head, man, you got to earn that.
And that's John Summerall, courtesy of David Waters. Gators breakdown there with those two great clips there. He's a guy that a lot of people believe will do a good job there in Gainesville.
Well, I mean, there are two coaches basically that have won there. Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer. Other than that, everybody has either been bad or underwhelming. Like, I mean, there have been moments. Dan Mullen had him in an SEC championship game. Jim McElwain had him in an SEC championship game. So there have been moments, but there have been two coaches that have won there all the time. When you win there, you win big. Like, it's so random you brought this up today. I was watching yesterday morning. They released it's a 30-minute, and it basically follows from the time his family got on the plane in New Orleans to come to Florida, the day of the announcement and all that. And it's really sad because his father's in there for a little bit. It's right before his dad had passed. And it just covers him being introduced. And our guy Andy Staples is on there. Chris Doring is on there. And they're both basically talking about, like, so, you know, Steve Spurrier unlocked Florida, and everybody thought it was going to be unlocked forever. Urban Meyer did it again, but it's just been difficult to recapture that. And I don't know why, Jim. I mean, like, what do you think it is about Florida that's made it tougher to win there? Have they just hired the wrong coach every time?
Oh, I think the fact that the SEC is really good, and I think you're going to have ebbs and flows from every program. Like LSU, there's no guarantee that Georgia is going to stay at the top, just like there's no guarantee Alabama is going to stay where it's been. Auburn has come and gone. LSU has come and gone. I think Texas will experience the same thing. It'll come and go, and A&M will come up. So it's just the SEC. There's so many brands that care so much about football. A lot more football to get to in the final 2 hours of the show today. Viewing menu right now brought to you by Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson.
I will do just that. MichelsonLaserVision.com. Mark and Jennifer Michelson. Doctors Mark and Jennifer Michelson. That is a father-daughter team. They are pioneers in the field of LASIK surgery. And it could be just right for you to see 2026 clearer and better. 205-969-8100 is the number to call Amy. 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. And when you call Amy, say, I've heard about Lance Taylor's Fighter Pilot Vision. I want that vision for 2026. They will get you in and do a consultation and see if LASIK surgery is right for you. Doctors Mark and Jennifer Michelson, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Talk to Amy. Get that risk-free evaluation to see if LASIK might help you see 2026 more clearly, Tyler.
Yesterday, I went to a late-night screening of Fellowship of the Ring, extended edition, just shy of 4 hours. And, this rewatch of the trilogy has cemented it for me as the greatest trilogy in film history.
Oh, wow. That's a bold statement right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
More than Star Wars for you?
Oh, easy.
You know how I feel about Godfather 3. I think it was a shameless money grab, but more than the Godfathers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Godfather 3 is too much of a drop-off.
Correct.
I saw some people in the chat talk about the Dark Knight trilogy being the greatest of all time. Dark Knight Rises is too much of a drop-off for me.
Okay.
From the other two.
All right. It's hard to do three good ones, I would say.
It's very hard.
I think we've seen that historically.
Porky's 1, Porky's 2, Porky's Revenge.
I'll give you that one.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Jim found it.
Is there not the Marvel character, one of the Marvel characters, is there not a trilogy there that would spark your interest?
Nothing that would be in the conversation of greatest movies of all time.
Let me ask you this. If they go past 3, does it no longer get consideration? So like Rocky 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah, that's pretty darn good there.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. I would even extend that to Rocky 4.
Right, but then it's not a trilogy. It's a, whatever we call that when there's 4.
It's a franchise.
Franchise, I would just call it a franchise.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think Lord of the Rings is the best trilogy. But new releases. Disney Plus has a new show called Wonder Man. That will be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I've never heard of it, though. Aspiring Hollywood actor Simon Williams, who secretly has superpowers, is struggling to get his career off the ground. During a chance meeting with Trevor Slattery, an actor whose biggest roles may be well behind him, Simon learns that a legendary director is remaking a superhero film called Wonder Man. These two actors at opposite ends of their careers doggedly pursue life-changing roles in this film as audiences get a peek behind the curtain of the entertainment industry. And it stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who is best known for playing Morpheus in the recent Matrix movie, and also starring Ben Kingsley.
Okay. See, I'm confused when I see the trailer, and I've seen the trailer several times. What platform is it's on?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. It's something I was watching on Disney Plus, so I get the trailer. I think it pops up on my Hulu as well. It makes it look like, and it's in the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away. It makes it look like in real life he has some superpowers that he has to keep secret, as he's trying to also be an actor in Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Is that is that the storyline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be kind of a meta take on like Hollywood entertainment humor, and also the classic superhero hiding his powers and having an alter ego. And stuff. Except his alter ego is a superhero on TV.
It looked pretty interesting to me.
Maybe it'll be good, or maybe it'll be another waste of money in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It was good enough it makes a good trailer. I'll put it that way.
Alrighty. Paramount Plus has a couple of new additions. First off is Zodiac. It's a great David Fincher film about the Zodiac killer and just everyone racing to try and figure out his identity before the next victim got stabbed. And then on the other side of the detective movies, you've got The Other Guys. And this one's just stupid fun for 2 hours straight. I would really recommend it if you haven't seen it, if you like Will Ferrell humor. It's him and Mark Wahlberg, and they have great chemistry together.
Okay. That's The Other Guys, and that's what Tyler's watching, brought to you by our friends at Michelson. When we come back, the resume of the guy that looks like it's going to be the new offensive line coach at Alabama, plus a pushback from one athletic director on SEC scheduling models, 9 SEC games and a mandated Power 4 team. One AD says maybe there's a need to revisit the rule in the SEC. That's coming up in the second hour of the show today here on The Next Round, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777. Or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. Because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical office, Birmingham.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels, January 30th through February 1st at the BJCC with customs, classics, hot rods, and more. Don't miss the Golden Riders motorcycle stunt team, plus BMX stunt teams performing outrageous stunts live. Friday, meet WWE star Rikishi. Saturday is Kevin Mack from Counts Customs. And Sunday, meet TV host Courtney Hansen. Bring the kids for free Hot Wheels racing, costume characters, rides, and more. Get discount tickets at all O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Details at worldofwheels.net.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 brought to you in part by our friends at Bojangles today. That includes our conversation about Missouri and Alabama basketball tonight down in Tuscaloosa. Auburn off tonight. They play tomorrow at home against Texas.
You can make a bow time at Bojangles for lunch or dinner tonight. Go get that great chicken rice bowl that is back for a limited time. It starts with a hearty scoop of dirty rice, a spoonful of slow-cooked Cajun pintos, plus a layer of melty cheese. Finally, your choice of chicken. It is hot, it is hearty, it is all yours for just $7.49, but don't wait too long. The bowl is only back for a limited time, so if you're hungry, you know what to do. Head to Bojangles. Drive-thru's always open. Make it bow time.
A couple of notes from college football. Duke and Darian Mensah have reached a mutual agreement, a resolution, if you will, that would allow both parties to move on, says Duke football. So I don't know what the financial terms are, but it does look like Mensah's on his way to quarterback at Miami next year. And the NCAA, there you see the Duke football statement there.
I think that's actually somewhat of a positive out of this story, Jim. I mean, I think the more financial penalty involved, I think will slow down the movement in the transfer portal. I mean, you're still going to have teams that are willing to pay whatever Miami's going to have to pay Duke to get Darian Mensah. That's still going to happen, but at least Duke leaves this situation with more money in their NIL than they started it with. Now, I know they've lost their starting quarterback. You don't want to do it that way, but at least there's that.
And the NCAA, without going into details on specific cases, according to reports, are looking in to Dabo Swinney's claims that Ole Miss tampered with a Clemson player who was already a student and sitting in class. And you heard all of Dabo yesterday. We won't revisit all that. But the NCAA, according to reports, are looking into it. Now, around the room, do we think the NCAA will do anything about it?
No. Like, I mean, who at the NCAA is looking into this? I mean, they've got their hands so full right now. They are in court everywhere, every day, all the time. And I'm sure they're like, yeah, we'll look into that. I mean, that's what you tell somebody when you're not going to do it, right? Yeah, I'll look into that.
The Trinidad Chambliss case will be heard next month in February, but we do expect him eventually to win his case to get another year of eligibility, and we expect him to be the quarterback at Ole Miss next year. By the way, Pete Golding picked up Tommy Kinsler from Miami, a big offensive line addition for the Rebels there out of the transfer portal. That gets us to a conversation about SEC scheduling. And if you forget his name, it is Verge Osbury, who is the current full-time athletic director at LSU now. And he had a chance to sit down with WAFB, and he says, listen, moving to 9 SEC games and mandating a Power 4 out-of-conference game, which this year for LSU is a home game against Clemson to start the year, and then they'll play 9 SEC games. Verge and LSU sort of maybe reflecting what other ADs are not saying out loud yet about maybe revisiting SEC's scheduling model. Here's Verge Osbury.
The last 3 national champions didn't play a Power 4 program outside of their conference. And going to 9 conference games, that changes the dynamics a lot. So we need to take a look at that and study it. In fact, I just sent it to the SEC Commissioner's Office, talking about, do we really have to play a Power 4 opponent with the 9 conference games now? Do we still need to do that? So we have to give our teams and our conference the advantage to playing in that final championship game. You know, in the last 3 years, we haven't made it to the final game. So something is there with that. When the last 3 national champions didn't play a Power 4 program outside their conference, we need to take a deep look into that as a conference to where we are. So does it make sense to still play the Clemsons, the Ohio States, the Notre Dames, the UCLAs, the USCs? Does that make sense still?
So Verge hadn't been on the job very long, and he's already the one that's championing this, which tells you how Lane Kiffin feels about it, right? That Verge is already out on the front saying, what are we doing here? That tells you his football coach probably echoes the same exact sentiment. The perception is, I see this a lot in the chat when this subject comes up, and it's not just the chat where I see this, is that Sankey got played on this whole 9-game deal. That's the perception that's out there, right? Is that Greg Sankey got played a little bit by, whether it was the Big Ten, whoever, somebody played Greg Sankey on this. If you guys will go to 9 games, all this stuff will have, it's going to benefit you to go to 9 games. Just trust us on this. It's going to benefit you. And then they've got none of the benefits of it.
If I remember the story correctly, one reason why initially the Big Ten was against expanding to 16 teams and making it the 5 and 11 model, 5 automatic bids in the best 11, after that was the fact that the SEC and the ACC played 8 conference games.
Yeah.
And then the discussion in the SEC meetings and 9 conference games were born. So I guess the fact that the Big Ten is not signing off on 16 without a precursor to 24 could leave that open for discussion.
But we also last year were like, now wait a minute. The SEC had been promised that strength of schedule would factor into this. And as the playoffs were being unveiled each week, we were debating whether or not that happened, right? That strength of schedule. But ultimately, don't we believe that happened? I mean,
they got 5 SEC teams in, yes.
Yeah, you had 5 SEC teams, so it indicates to me that they very much value the SEC strength. Like, they looked at Alabama and compared them to Notre Dame and said Alabama played a tougher schedule. I mean, they were a more tested team than Notre Dame. I mean, Really,
and more than Miami too. I mean, they were ahead of both of them.
Yes. Miami made it in. It's the only reason I picked Notre Dame. But you're right. I mean, Miami was on the outside looking in.
Because of the strength of schedule, most people believe the debate came down to Miami or Notre Dame.
That's right. Alabama
was safely in.
They weren't even on the cut line. Yeah. So, I mean, I thought strength of schedule eventually got valued to the point it should have. Like, I don't really think anybody from the SEC got left out that obviously deserved to be in front of Miami. I don't think you can make – this is way easier to say once Miami went all the way to the national championship game too, right? But like Texas, Miami, Vandy, Miami, I didn't really see a compelling argument one over the other.
Texas was the highest SEC team, but their struggles in wins at Kentucky and Mississippi State sort of watered down their wins and their quality losses.
That's right. Yeah, they weren't exceptionally strong. Like, I didn't just look at them and think it's obvious they should be in front of Miami or Notre Dame for that matter. And Vandy was the same way. So, I mean, I do look at what Verge Osbury says, and he's right. Like, this day and age in football, I hate to say this because, again, I'll go back to what we were talking about with the Bediako. I'm in this for the entertainment. I want the SEC to play only Power 5 schools. Why? Because it's a better Saturday for me. But if I'm looking at it from an SEC team's point of view, I'm like, do we really need to play 9 conference games and a mandated 10th Power 5 game, Power 4 game? That's a lot to ask. It really is. But I mean,
I would say yes, and then I would also hold the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big 12 accountable.
As long as they all do it.
I would say you guys, too, have to play 9 and a mandated Power 4 team.
If everybody's doing that, I'm fine with it because now we're on an equal playing field. Now, not all conferences are created equal, but that's going to be the same no matter how many games you're playing in conference or the mandated +1. You know, the Big Ten's always going to be stronger than somebody else, or the SEC's always going to be stronger than somebody else. So that's never going to change. You're not going to change that. But if everybody's on the level playing field, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. It's impossible to do, but it would be best if you could just take your 9 conference games and then that one out-of-conference Power 4 game be set up by
a committee
somewhere else that would pair up a like schedule to sort of give us some balance in scheduling.
Yeah, we do scheduling so strangely in college football. It's done way in advance, and that minimizes some of the good games you get. I don't – I would be optimistic to say that we'll get there one day. I just don't know that we ever will, Jim, just because, like, you know, the scheduling committee, do they take into account, well, in the SEC or in any conference now, you got 9 games. Well, this team's only got 4 home conference games. So can I send them on the road against a Big Ten team? So now they've got 4 home conference games. So they've got 5 conference road games, and they're going on the road, and they're at a conference game we set up. I mean, it seems like that is going to be a really difficult needle to thread on that whole deal. And then it's compounded by the fact that you've got some teams that their rivalry game isn't at a conference Power 4 game.
Right. Well, then you've taken care of it right there. Georgia Tech, South Carolina, Clemson, Florida State, Florida. They're taken care of.
Right. But then like Alabama, Florida State, I mean, on the surface, that looked like a pretty good 2-game series right there. Do we ever get that? Because they've got Florida out of conference, you know?
Yeah. So you don't get Alabama, Florida State.
That's my point.
It would be Alabama, somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's one athletic director. We'll see if that becomes a big talking point as we approach the May meetings down in Destin for the SEC. If maybe there's some rollback on the mandate for that Power 4 game being mandated to go with the 9-game conference schedule. I would imagine nothing's going to happen for the upcoming season. We'll see if they try to change it for 2027. More scheduling coming up. The ACC makes an interesting move after we tell you the show being brought to you today by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. That's Greg from Pell City and the fine folks there. He and his wife, Andrea, own the company that's been locally owned for over 20 years. They do so many great things there. One of them they have now for you, before I talk about the roofing stuff they do, they've got this soft wash program that can actually make your house look so much better for everybody in the neighborhood, including you, with the street appearance, just taking the staining and the darkness out of a roof that is perfectly fine. You got years left on that roof, but it just looks stained because of the summer sun or some leaves or something here in the South. Get that cleaned up, make it look brand new again with the soft wash program from Storm Restoration Roofing, stormrestorationroofing.com, 205-542-3531. That's the same number to call to get a free no-cost roof inspection. They handle storm damage. They handle roof replacements. But that free no-cost roof inspection is a great way to meet Greg, to get a no-cost look at your roof to see what's going on up there, and to move forward from there. 205-542-3531, stormrestorationroofing.com.
If you are looking for a country club home in Birmingham, we recommend Inverness Country Club. Great place to go. We are out there all the time at Inverness Country Club. Beautiful clubhouse with the great food on the inside, that resort-style pool. Once we finally get back to warm temperatures, the great tennis facility that they have with a brand-new clubhouse there under construction. The child care on the inside. You need to have a meeting there. You want to play around the tennis. They got great child care there that they provide at Inverness Country Club. World-class fitness center as well that so many people take advantage of. And, oh, yeah, a great golf course as well. It's got it all. Inverness Country Club. You can be a member there. Set up a tour today by calling our friend Aaron, 205-991-8608, 205-991-8608, or ICCalabama.com for more info, ICCalabama.com, or 205-991-8608. The best days start at Inverness Country Club, ICCalabama.com.
Yesterday, the ACC did something when they announced their new schedule. They moved into that 12 Eastern, 11 a.m. Central time with their championship game, which really sets up, there's only 4 power conferences. The Big 12 had moved theirs to Friday night. It makes sense not to go head-to-head in prime time, so the ACC will start the day off at 11 Central, followed by the SEC, then the Big 10 in prime time at night. You understand why they did this, right?
I do, because they don't want to go to head-to-head with the Big 10, and there was an open window there where nobody else is playing now that the Big 12 moved.
No other power conference. Maybe the American will stay there or something. I guess they're going to move all that stuff around now.
Yeah, maybe they move that to primetime, because I can't imagine that ESPN ABC is just going to not have a primetime game that night, would you think?
I would think not.
But there again, if you've got, with all due respect to the American, nice conference, but boy, you want to talk about a sacrificial lamb.
It is a pretty good basketball day usually.
Yeah. So maybe just go a basketball game versus the Big Ten game?
Maybe.
I thought this was an interesting move just because of that, Jim, that you are sacrificing that primetime window. I don't see a world where the SEC would want to move there.
No, they never have. Yeah. When they could have owned it and dominated it, they chose for a Saturday afternoon.
That's right. Now, part of that, too, even though it's a different time, was the CBS midday window that they had all year long.
30 minutes later.
Yeah, 30 minutes later. But it's still in that midday window where you'd had a game all year long. So I think that was part of their decision-making back then. But even now, I don't think the SEC has any – well, first of all, I don't think these things are long for the world. But even if they stick around an extended amount of time, I don't think the SEC would ever move primetime. I think they like that midday window.
Yeah, so that's the big move. And then they released their schedule on where and what time of year somebody's playing. And the first thing that popped to everybody is Miami's schedule looks poised and ready for them to easily be in the ACC championship game and to be back in the playoffs. Miami's schedule next year, they open with an ACC game on the road at Stanford.
Okay.
So you get that long travel out of the way going to the West Coast. They're home to Florida A&M. They're at Wake Forest. They're home to Central Michigan. They're at Clemson.
Could be a tough game.
Whatever you think Clemson's going to be moving forward.
I think they'll be better than they were this season.
Interesting you say that with no proven quarterback.
Well, they were just 6-6, weren't they?
They lose 3 NFL first-round draft picks.
They got tampered with.
But whatever Clemson's going to be at Clemson, followed by a bye to rest up and get ready for a home game with Florida State rivalry, home game Pitt, at North Carolina, at Notre Dame, Duke, Virginia Tech, Boston College. Last 3 games at home. Most people point, if you look at, and we'll do the way too early later on, but Notre Dame is the only team that's in anybody's really way too early top 25s.
So I do remember in the offseason when we tried to find a trip-up game for Miami, we did point out that Friday night Louisville game, which eventually they lost.
Not on the schedule this year.
Not on the schedule this year. I don't think any of us mentioned a road trip to SMU.
Not on the schedule this year.
Which they eventually lost. But my point there is, they have found a way to lose these games over the years. I'm with you. I look at this schedule, and my boy, I do not see many potential losses there. Unless Clemson is back to being good. At Clemson, at Notre Dame, that's 2 tough games for them. But I mean, even then, perhaps with 2 losses, they're still in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know, Jim. I mean, if you lose those 2 games, Clemson and Notre Dame, boy, give me a good win out of the rest of that group. I don't see a good win on there.
Yeah. I mean, it's something you face all the time in the ACC, though it's football got a lot of more respect this year because of Miami's run to the national championship. If you're wondering about Clemson, they do start on the road at LSU and Georgia Southern, North Carolina, Cal, Miami, all at home, 4 at home after that. Then a bye week, then Charleston Southern, Virginia Tech. Some of these have to be road games. At Florida State, Syracuse, Georgia Tech, at Duke, and then South Carolina.
Yeah, they're on the road. Their road conference games are at Cal, at FSU, at Syracuse, at Duke.
Yeah. So
tougher schedule than Miami's got on the surface.
Everybody's got a tougher schedule than Miami.
So I guess so.
Interesting from the ACC yesterday. The big story, though, the big takeaway is the fact that the ACC moved their national championship game up to start the day on Championship Saturday. When we come back, we'll talk to Mark Gottfried about Charles Bediako, college basketball in general, and what the future looks like and what he thinks of this Alabama basketball team and the SEC race down the straight. It comes on a night where Arizona stayed unbeaten, by the way, 21-0, and Duke blasted Louisville in some big games. And we got great ones tonight, Nebraska and Michigan, and Purdue and Indiana, all happening tonight on the hardwood. We talked to Mark Gottfried coming up on the other side. The show brought to you by our friends at Central State Bank.
It is the bank that is big enough to meet all your financial needs, but they are also small enough to know you because they are a community bank that is about building relationships, not just opening accounts and handing you off to somebody. They are building a relationship with you. They've got 6 locations across central Alabama, counties like Shelby County, Alexander City, right there where you need them. If you're running a business, buying your dream car, or want a bank that just simply remembers your name when you come in, they have got you covered at Central State Bank. For more than 100 years, Central State Bank has built trust by staying true to what matters: personal service, local decisions, and lasting relationships. Proud to be large enough to serve you, small enough to know you, rooted in community, driven by relationships. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. From the Gators of the litigation situation. Insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorney, we fight back. We have the resource, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777. Or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels, January 30th through February 1st at the BJCC. With customs, classics, hot rods, and more. Don't miss the Golden Riders motorcycle stunt team, plus BMX stunt teams performing outrageous stunts live. Friday, meet WWE star Rikishi. Saturday is Kevin Mack from Counts Customs. And Sunday, meet TV host Courtney Hansen. Bring the kids for free Hot Wheels racing, costume characters, rides, and more. Get discount tickets at all O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Details at worldofwheels.net.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
He's the host of the Coach Mark Gottfried Show podcast. And I was watching him on social media the other day, and he talked about wanting to it's good to have all the wins and all the great coaching memories he has, but he really wanted to make sure he had impact on people and their lives and things like that. And I just want to say, Mark, as you join the show, you will not remember this, but I think it was the year we went up to Greenville for the NCAA basketball tournament. And it was before that trip up there, maybe it was a shoot around or something. You had told me that I think the word I had LA big market talent. And
wow, that Mark told you that?
And that stuck with me from that point on the rest of my career. It gave me confidence I did not have before that. Just one little phrase like that. I can't remember the wording exactly, but you complimented me in a way that it just impacted the way I felt about my job. And I just wanted to tell you that you did change my life. You did impact my life in a positive way.
Wow, that's really nice, Jim. And you do. You've always had that. And when I was there I can go all the way back, even as a player, but as a coach, I enjoyed every minute of it, and I enjoyed all you guys. And you were always great and professional. So I appreciate your friendship.
Yeah, well, that was it was such a good meaning. And of course, I think I picked Alabama to get out of Greenville, and we did get out of Greenville that year. It was a great memory until that game.
Yeah, Lance did not come over with us, but you may remember this. When we were still at Jocks, you had the deal where the media could come and you put us through a practice. You remember that one?
I loved it, boy. I had so much fun watching everybody.
Yeah, I think that was when you said, Ryan, you'll make a great radio host. Don't ever think play basketball.
Yeah, Dubberly and I joked about that for many years after that.
That was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, Lance was smart enough to sit it out. Man, Lance was smart enough to sit it out. First of all, good to see you. You been doing okay?
I'm fantastic. I'm living in Newport Beach, California. It's 72 and sunny about every day, so it's hard for me to complain.
Not here. It is terrible here. I was looking last 3 I was going to promote the Mark Gottfried Show. You can get it on Spotify and wherever you get your podcast. Bucky McMillan on back in December, and all of a sudden this is the guy that's leading the SEC. Alabama AD Greg Byrne on, and Luis Gonzalez, former Major League Baseball All-Star there. So pretty diverse group of people there. You talked to Greg before all of this Charles Bediako stuff happened, and certainly it's kind of exploded since then. What was your initial reaction when you saw this story?
Well, I want everybody to understand one thing is, as an Alabama fan, I'm fired up because he can change our team. And, there's a good opportunity for him to really make us better this year. And so selfishly, 100%, I'm excited. On the other hand, I've been doing this for a long time. I was in it for, I think, 33 years. And I struggle a little bit. I struggle with this one because, If you look at it this way, there's a lot of ways to look at it. And I hear the comparisons between the European kids and the United States kids. And people have to understand in Europe, and I've recruited a lot of European players, and I've signed them, I've coached them. There is no high school basketball. There's no basketball in the educational system. So they have to sign with clubs. That's just part of the gig there. It's like professional teams have junior teams, and then eventually they work themselves up. So the European players, it's not the same argument as our players here in the States. But for me, I look back, guys, and you guys can all remember this. Guys like Rod Grizzard, Kennedy Winston, Richard Hendricks, who's doing amazing on television right now. Those guys back then, they didn't even have the opportunity to test the waters truly, where you had to make a decision, kind of a blind decision. And then what we did was, and I mentioned this the other day with Chris Stewart, I was on one of his shows. I was on the committee at the NABC, our National Association of Basketball Coaches, and it was Tom Izzo and Bill Self and Calipari, we pushed to allow the NCAA to give the kids every opportunity not to make a mistake. Go to the combine, get on an airplane, fly to any team that wants to bring you in, consult with an agent, all those things. And at the end of that, then you got to make a decision whether you're going to go pro or not. And so I think all those things are wonderful. And so I struggle with the guy that has gone through all that, drafted in the NBA. It's not turning out the way he'd like. He's probably a wonderful young guy, but now we find a local judge, because I think the trend is going to be there's a local judge in every city in America. That's easy. And that would overturn or put a restraining order in. So for me, I'm struggling with it on both sides, because selfishly I love it. And the other side of it, a guy that's been in college and went through the process, that's a tough one for me to give that guy another crack at it.
And I understand on the European side, but it seems like for Nate, the world changed when the kid for Baylor got drafted in the first round, 31st overall, and when he got cleared, that seemed to be the line where Nate said, all right, this Bediako thing could work out for us.
No question. And here's what's going to happen, and I don't blame Nate or Greg. I love them both, and I'm rooting for them both. And quite frankly, Greg Byrne, as an athletic director, to stand behind his coach in this situation, he needs to be applauded, because there's a lot of athletic directors that might not do that. But I think what you're going to see, Jim, I just got a feeling this is going to start happening all over the country. And you can guarantee you're going to find a judge in Lexington or in Lawrence, Kansas, or in Raleigh, North Carolina, where I worked. I mean, that's the easy part. And, there's so many parts to it. It's kind of tough to sort them all out. But you also have to remember this, and this is going to sound like I'm against Charles Bediako in Alabama, and I'm not. I'm not against him at all. But let's also keep in mind, he got drafted. He played 46 games in the G League over, I guess, a 2-year period. He got better. I mean, you're getting better.
Yeah.
You're playing against better competition. I mean, you're improving probably more than you would have in college. And now I'm going to come back and come back into college and play. And so I'm for the kids. I'm for the guys. I want them to all have every opportunity known to man. But at some point, and I'm not a fan of the NCAA, trust me on that one. I'm not. me and Tarkanian back in the old days, we'd have had a great time talking. But there still are rules. I mean, every organization has to have rules. And, this one is a tricky one for me, because selfishly I'm rooting for Alabama and Charles, but on the big picture, I'm struggling with the guys that have gone to college. In other words, if a European player would have come to college, and I had some European guys, I signed some really good players from other countries. They come, they start college basketball. They're in the NCAA system at that point. At that point, it's an even playing field. Now we all have to follow the same rules, one of which is once you declare for the draft, get drafted, sign a pro contract, you're done, the whole thing. So That's where it's a little bit tricky for me. Otherwise, we just have to open it wide open, which we kind of already have with paying players. And I don't know that that's where the NCAA, if that's what's best for college athletics.
I want to ask you about handling a team because I hear a lot of other coaches saying this, and you're spot on watching one game with Bediako, that fake handoff, spin, drive to the basket, dunk from the three-point line. He couldn't do that in 2003, so he has gotten better playing the competition. But how's Nate handling that locker room? How do you think if I'm we'll say Williamson, who came from Bucknell. I mean, that's obviously going to cut into my minutes or my opportunity. How do you handle that in a locker room? How would you be handling that? Was that a discussion you had on the front end? Is it an ongoing discussion? That's got to be something that a lot of coaches, I think, around the country are pointing to Nate on, God, how's he going to handle that with the guys he's recruited?
I think it's a tricky one, very, very tricky. And it's not just the players that, you may be taking minutes from. That happens all the time. The cream rises to the top, and we're all going to play the best players, and people need to understand that. But he did join in at Christmas. He did play in the G League about 4 weeks ago. So this is obviously different than, if there's a transfer in college or whatever, he becomes eligible at the break. So this is a whole different situation. I think there's also your team's chemistry whenever you add in a player that hasn't practiced with you or played in games the whole year. And there's an adjustment period. And for Nate and those guys, there will be an adjustment. Players on the floor really learning how to play with him. The whole thing, that's an adjustment when you add any player in. I don't worry so much about the guys that are there that may lose minutes. But here's where I do worry about it, Jim, and this is kind of a tough one for me as well. I go back, Jim, and the people are listening. They're going to remember all these names. Take Chuck Davis, Antoine Petway, Terrence Mead, all good players, good high school players that came to Alabama, stayed at Alabama, graduated from Alabama, are connected to Alabama for the rest of their lives. That part's over. The high school kid that's not a top 50 or 100 guy in America, they're going to get left. They are getting left behind right now. They're not getting recruited at all. So if you go into the portal, if I go in now to the G League and get players, you got to remember those stories of the top 200 guy that I would sign that got better and better and better and better. Again, Erwin Dudley was an SEC Player of the Year. Do I sign Erwin Dudley back nowadays, or do I just go get a kid out of the portal?
Yep.
And that one to me is a bigger picture in this whole situation as well.
Coach Mark Gottfried is with us. You can find the Mark Gottfried Show on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast as well. He's on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. This may be too broad of a question to answer, but I want to go back to something you said about Bediako improving because he was in the G League. The level of basketball that a lot of these European, and I know there's several European leagues. That's why this is probably too broad to answer. But, I mean, that's a pretty good level of basketball, though, right? I mean, we say it all the time. Like, some of these European teams are better than the G League teams, I would imagine. So what kind of level, like if I'm 16, 17, I finish high school, I go play in just one of the normal European leagues, am I getting better there too? I mean, is that a pretty good level of basketball?
Yeah, and that's a great question because, yes, the answer is yes, they are getting better and they're getting coached, and it's and those guys aren't going to class either, by the way, which
right.
Maybe our guys probably aren't going to class much either in the U.S. But, those guys, but you have to remember, that's the only system is offered to them. That's it. They don't play for their high school team. They're not playing for Hoover High School or, Decatur High. I mean, there is none of that for them. So they have to. If you're 15 or 16 years old, 17, and you're growing up in Spain or Turkey or Italy or wherever it may be, that's the only choice you have. There are no other choices. And so I think the NCAA has always viewed those guys in Europe a little bit differently because of that. It's different. Our system is different here, but the answer to your question is yes, they are getting better. And I don't think it's different than anything we do. I'm a knucklehead, rabid pickleball player nowadays. I play about 5 days a week. Well, if I went for 2 years and played with the pros and I come back and play with my group, well, I'm going to be a lot better. I'm going to have improved a lot. And so wherever you're playing, when you play against that level, there's no doubt that you have an opportunity to get better.
I think, and Jim brought this up, and I'll give him credit for this, and I think he's right, and this is the way it works. That does not count against their eligibility, and I think that is – and listen, I 100% hear what you're saying, Coach. Is this their only option? But I think some people would say, yeah, but why does that not count against their NCAA eligibility? If let's say I'm 18, because some of these guys are in their 20s. It's not just like, oh, well, they did this as teenagers. No, they've done it for several years, and now they're coming over here. Why did some of that not count against their NCAA eligibility? Does that make sense?
It does, and there was a time when, and I had some guys. I had a great player, Omer Yurtsevin at NC State. NCAA made him sit out 14 games, because he had played professional basketball. So there was a penalty. Now they've lightened up on that one as well. The NCAA has. I think you're making some great points in the sport of basketball. There are a lot of European kids. There's kids from Australia. We've got kids from Africa. And every system in the world is different. Australia is a little bit more like the United States with the high school systems, but it is different. And so those are tricky, and all things always aren't equal. They just aren't always equal because of the way they've grown up in and what the system provides those guys. But here's where I would make sure, I would say to everybody, keep your eye on the ball. For me, this is my opinion. Once you've come to college, I don't care where you've come from. Charles Bediako started college at the University of Alabama. He came in and played. At that point, you are part of the NCAA system. And we have to have some rules. I mean, we're getting to the point where the NCAA, in my view, and I've said this publicly, I think we're watching them begin to crumble a little bit because they've been so inconsistent with their rulings on players, and everybody, thinks I've got a shot. I'm going to sue them. And I think it's the ground is starting to move underneath them. And but this one's going to be seismic. This is a seismic shift right here.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
I got a couple of questions about the actual games on the court right now. Fred Hoiberg and what he's doing at Nebraska. They're 20-0, number 5 in the country, highest ranking program history, on the road at Michigan tonight, number 3, 18-1 Michigan. To see what Hoiberg is doing at a place like Nebraska, is almost exactly what he did at Iowa State. Just the respect you have for him as a coach, and wow, he can do it at Nebraska. That's pretty impressive.
Unbelievable to me, and I know him well. He's a great basketball coach. And I love what they're doing. I think Michigan's awfully good, by the way. And the big kid Michigan guy from UCLA, in my opinion, is a difference maker for them. And Michigan's really, really good, but so is Nebraska. Here's what I would say about Nebraska as a former coach and all the coaches out there that are listening to me. Fred Hoiberg has had the benefit of having an administration that has hung with him through some tough times and has had patience. And, I'm sure there were people there that were clamoring that he needed to get fired. And you've got an administration. It happens all the time. And sometimes a guy like that just needed a little bit of time. And he's turned that place into I can imagine their home games are off the charts, and nationally they're getting the recognition they deserve. But he's just done a tremendous job this year.
Combined record of 38-1. Michigan's a 10.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
That shows you how good Michigan is.
Yeah, that inside game is legit. And the other one I wanted to ask you is as you watch SEC basketball this year, last year was such a record year, getting all those teams into the NCAA tournament, and Florida won it all. And I feel like if Auburn had beaten Florida, Auburn would have won it all. It seems different as a league this year, but it seems equally as competitive top to bottom. Just your thought on this SEC season you're watching unfold right now.
Top to bottom, Jim, it's the best league. I don't care what anybody says. When we added the teams, we added in the schools in the last, handful of years, it has made the league in both football and basketball ridiculously good. I hope the SEC still gets a ton of teams in the tournament because I think there's a lot of very deserving teams when we get down to the end of the year. But unbelievable top to bottom league, and you're going to have some losses. You're going to have some. Alabama football, you're going to have some losses because of the schedule that the league provides you and the talent in the league. And by the way, how about Bucky McMillan?
Yeah.
What a phenomenal job that he is doing at A&M. And if you're not a believer in Bucky McMillan by now, you got your head in the sand somewhere, because that guy, what a phenomenal young coach that he is, and with the job he's doing at A&M.
Yeah, and he got there late in the portal situation. This is not even his roster. I mean, he's in a lot of ways, this is just a makeshift roster for him. When he gets his guys in there that run the system he likes, I mean, boy, there's no telling what he could do there.
Man, he's phenomenal. I wanted him to come play for me his senior year when they dropped basketball at Birmingham Southern. He ended up staying and coaching high school basketball. He was the assistant, I think, at first at Mountain Brook. But I've known Bucky forever. And, boy, I couldn't be more excited about him, man. What a phenomenal job. What a great young coach.
Yeah. Again, we used to get calls, and when we were on Jocks, people would call, and this was not you. This was obviously after you had coached there, but we need to fire, I don't know if it was Anthony Grant or Avery or whoever it was, Bucky McMillan. Need to go hire Bucky from Mountain Brook. And I laughed at him, Coach. I was like, come on, man. You're going to hire a guy from Mountain Brook to go coach Alabama basketball? I was wrong. This guy, he can obviously coach.
Yeah, you weren't wrong. He needed that time at Samford, too, that I think that really helped him as well. But he's just a blossoming star in my view, and I think somebody that is going to be, I think he'll win a national championship. No different than he did at Mountain Brook and what he did at Samford. Hell, he almost beat Kansas last year. Had him on the ropes to the last couple seconds. So, yeah, he's just it's fun to watch.
All right, the Mark Gottfried Show, wherever you get your podcasts, go enjoy his interviews with some great people throughout college and professional sports. Coach, it is always good to see you and talk to you. We appreciate the time.
Great. You guys need to get some shorts up. We'll see who can make it up and down the floor in full court basketball.
Yeah. I think I'd rather do pickleball with you.
Coach, take care. Have a great week. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, good to see you. That is Mark Gottfried with us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
I mean, it's cool to see Mark at a Dodgers game or all the stuff that he's getting to do there on the West Coast, and obviously part of that UCLA national championship team. Mark Gottfried there. Always good to catch up with him. Some interesting thought from a former coach's perspective there. Bojangles bringing you that conversation today.
Yeah, they also bring you that chicken rice bowl. It is back for a limited time with our friends at Bojangles. You can make a bow time with that chicken rice bowl. It all starts with that hearty scoop of those fantastic dirty rice, followed up with a spoonful of slow-cooked Cajun pintos, plus a layer of melty cheese, and finally, your choice of chicken. It is hot, it is hearty, it is all yours for just $7.49. Don't wait too long. The bowl is back just for a limited time. So when you're hungry, you know what to do. Drive-thru's always open with our friends at Bojangles. It is bow time.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Guys, stay on top of your health. That starts with prostate health. You may think you're bulletproof in your 20s, and then you move to your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and 60s. At some point, man, make sure you're checking in with our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Early detection literally saves lives when it comes to your prostate health, and they cover everything, prostate health to anything else with your urological system, all the way to kidney stones, vasectomies. They'll do it all at Urology Centers of Alabama. 16 great locations, all the great urologists there. Over 70 years of compassionate work here in Central Alabama. 205-930-0920, UrologyCentersAlabama.com. Here's Stephen Pearl yesterday on our show, Auburn head coach. You can see the whole interview on our platform, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get our show. But here is a snippet on Stephen Pearl talking about the competitiveness of the SEC this year.
But this thing seems so wide open this year. What's your thought on the league right now as we get ready to go into February?
Yeah, I mean, we went what did we go? We went 15-3 last year. No one's going 15-3 this year. They're just not. That speaks to the depth of the league. And there's not as much difference between the best team in our league and the like, I wouldn't even call them the worst team in our league, but 1-16 is a lot closer than it was last year, if that makes sense. It's just, every single night, anybody can beat anybody. Oklahoma has had a couple just devastating losses. South Carolina has won 2 games in the league so far, and they went down to LSU, who they were up 43-15, and LSU almost just went in there and beat Arkansas. Texas A&M obviously off to a great start, but anybody can beat anybody in this league, and there's just there's really not a lot of separation between 1 and 16. Where last year I felt like there was, while it was the best in the history of college basketball, and but I thought the top of our league was just so damn strong with where those teams were. I think this year there's just it's really tight, and there's not a lot of separation from one spot to the next. And every single night you really gotta show up, and you gotta bring your best, or else you're gonna be on the losing end of it.
And we've seen that so far this year. It's been in tonight, Arkansas at Oklahoma in front of a makeshift crowd, no charge, and Arkansas is only a 2.5-point favorite in that game.
Yeah, and Oklahoma might be the worst team in the league.
Could
It's
be
either them or LSU, probably.
Could be. I mean, they had a tough loss to Missouri in the weekend.
Boy, that was a heartbreaker.
Missouri hit a buzzer beater to send it to overtime and a buzzer beater to win it.
Yeah. And they were not tied in either situation, were they?
No.
Either way, if the shot misses, the game is over.
Yeah.
And to this point about nobody going 15-3, we are 6 or 7 games, depending on if you've had your midweek bye yet, 6 or 7 games through the conference schedule. Not even halfway yet, right? And you've only got 4 teams with 2 losses already. They're not going 16-3 or 15-3, excuse me. And then there's A&M, who I just don't believe people are buying into yet. Like, I think a lot of people are still wait and see on a 6-1 Texas A&M team. And by the way, again, that one was a double overtime loss at Tennessee. I mean, it's not like they went to Tennessee and just got scalded. A double overtime loss in Knoxville. So they could very easily be 7-0 right now, and still people don't believe they can go 16-3 or 15-3. I keep saying 15-3 in the conference.
Arizona, 21-0 now. They escaped BYU last night, 86-83. They led that game 55-41 and then had to sort of scramble to hold on to beat them last night. And Duke beat ranked Louisville
like a dog,
83-52 last night. A couple of top 20 matchups. 6 p.m. tonight on Peacock is that Nebraska-Michigan game. Number 5 Nebraska, number 3 Michigan, as Brown said, 38-1 combined record. Michigan a 10.5-point favorite in that one. Purdue coming off a couple losses. They play at Indiana tonight. The show and Lance'sLock.com brought to you by our friends at Hemphill. That Lance's Lock, he's got plays on those games or the SEC games happening tonight, some NBA action. Lance'sLock.com. Go to our friends at Hemphill Services and check out everything they have to offer you. That includes the website, hemphillservices.com, or the phone number, 205-229-2090, to contact Hemphill. Whether you're experiencing plumbing or heating or cooling issues in your home or business year-round, they will take care of you. The name Birmingham's trusted since 1954. It's our friends at Hemphill Services.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels, January 30th through February 1st at the BJCC with customs, classics, hot rods, and more. Don't miss the Golden Riders motorcycle stunt team, plus BMX stunt teams performing outrageous stunts live. Friday, meet WWE star Rikishi. Saturday is Kevin Mack from Counts Customs. And Sunday, meet TV host Courtney Hansen. Bring the kids for free Hot Wheels racing, costume characters, rides, and more. Get discount tickets at all O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Details at worldofwheels.net.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show today being brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Good to catch up with Mark Gottfried there, our old buddy. Good to catch up with Sterling anytime for lunch or dinner down on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Our old friend there has had that same location for over a decade, and it is such a warm, welcoming facility there with great staff and just wonderful food. Brined overnight, cooked to order fried chicken, just delicious, juicy down to the bone. The hand-cut chicken fingers, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. It's our friends at Champy's Chicken, champy'schicken.com, Mississippi Delta tamales. Go and check them out. Highway 119 in Alabaster. A couple of developing news story. The Buffalo Bills are going to promote from in-house to head coach Joe Brady, one of the co-offensive coordinators of the 2019 LSU National Championship team, has had some middling success in the NFL as an offensive coordinator.
This has been his most successful stint because he's got Josh Allen, but his stint with our buddy Matt Rule in Carolina was not great.
Was not good. Was he with the Giants any at all for a little bit, or no? Straight to Buffalo
can't remember. I thought he went straight from Carolina to Buffalo, but it's testing my memory there.
Yeah, I thought they would hire Brian Dable from the Giants back as head coach.
Yeah.
Because they were uber successful as an offense with Dable there, and Josh Allen was playing his best football when Dable was there. But they go in-house with Joe Brady.
Which probably tells you what Allen thinks of Joe Brady, right? I mean, they had already said they were going to lean heavily on Josh Allen here. He was going to be part of the process, which, when you've got a top-5 quarterback, it's probably a wise thing to do. It's interesting. I read it was one of the insiders for the Buffalo Bills that works for the sports station up there, sports radio station, but he's the guy that covers the Bills for them, said that the straw that broke the camel's back with ownership, and it has just finally come to a head for Sean McDermott, was the way he handled the loss when they only had 13 seconds remaining in Kansas City. Remember that? And Kansas City kicked the field goal to force overtime in 13 seconds. That McDermott refused to take any blame for it. That in the postgame he talked about execution, which is code word for my players screwed up. Poor execution. And McDermott, to his staff and staff meetings, would never take any blame for that situation. And that fractured his relationship with Bills ownership. And basically, from that point on, Bills ownership was just looking for a reason to fire the guy. So the loss in Denver apparently was reason enough to fire him. They could pin some poor coaching on him for there. So that's interesting. A guy that had that much success, that it was kind of that moment that was the breaking point, apparently, according to certain reports, for Sean McDermott.
That is the developing news in the NFL. Let's do a couple of college football things right here. Brought to you by our friends at CPAP Plus. Tell us, Brownie, about CPAP Plus, the fine folks at Sleep Home Alabama.
SleepHomeAlabama.com is the website you go to for our friends, the O'Neill brothers at CPAP Plus. What you're going to find at Sleep Home Alabama is the best home sleep testing that is available. There is absolutely no lab. It's easy-to-wear fingertip devices that are clinically validated. They connect your smartphone, and they complete a physician's interpretation of your results when you sleep. The in-lab test costs over $1,000 with insurance and deductibles. You never know what you're going to have to pay. Not with SleepHomeAlabama.com. It's just $199, and there's no delay. You don't have to wait for the results. You get the results right away. Go to SleepHomeAlabama.com to see everything I'm talking about. If you wonder if a CPAP is right for you, they have made it so easy, affordable at SleepHomeAlabama.com. That's our friends, the O'Neill brothers. CPAP Plus. Also, if you're already using a CPAP, great place to get all your supplies very dependably with O'Neill Medical and CPAP Plus. See more at SleepHomeAlabama.com.
Okay, couple on three graphics. Forrester, give me the way too early 2026 All-American team, and it'll be really quick for you to notice the thing I noticed quickly on here.
No Alabama?
Is there's not an Alabama logo on there. So you try to imagine the last time not one Alabama player was on a way too early preseason All-American team. There is one Auburn player on there. You see Xavier Atkins as a linebacker down there on defense. But the folks at On 3, via Chris Lowe here, Trinidad Chambliss, everyone's expecting him to win his court case and be back.
Yeah, you've got your quarterback that may not even be able to play. I think he will be, but that is the world we're living in, right?
Kewan Lacey, part of that backfield. Missouri's Ahmad Hardy. Jeremiah Smith, Malachi Toney, your receiver.
Boy, that's a good receiving core.
Trey'Dez Green, the tight end for LSU, as LSU's only representative on this team. An offensive line that takes you from Indiana to Cincinnati. Cade Piper of Iowa right there at center. Houston and Texas. Yeah. And then an all-purpose guy in Wayne Knight of UCLA. And then Canero, the kicker from Ole Miss, that was just tremendous.
You know, you point out that there's no Alabama player on there that jumps out at you, and it does jump out. But I think you look at that All-American team, and you see in the world of the transfer portal and NIL how much we have spread talent, because there's only one Georgia guy on there. I mean, there's years you would look and you see 3 or 4 Georgia guys. There's one LSU guy. There's years you'd see 3 or 4 LSU guys. So while it does jump out at you that there's no Alabama guy, I mean, there's only one Georgia and one LSU.
More importantly, there's only one Ohio State, and that's Jeremiah Smith. No Ohio State player on the defense.
Yeah, now you've got
two Oregons, 3 Texas.
4 Texas. Well, it's 1 on offense, 3 on defense.
Yeah.
Well, Nibl's a returner,
yeah,
but still 4 Texas guys, 3 Ole Miss guys. I mean, I'm just pointing out, you see how much spread the talent gets now, where it's not 4 Alabama guys, 3 Georgia guys, and 2 LSU guys. I mean, you got accustomed to seeing that.
Yeah.
And just then 4 Ohio State guys.
Just 1 Michigan guy, 1 Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of logos on the right column of those 2 teams.
Troy's Evan Crenshaw makes it as a punter there, so good for Troy there. So that's the way too early 2026 All-American team, and great point by you on the dispersion of talent across the country there when you look at that preseason All-American team. And then there's the composite way too early top 25, where you take the way too earlys from On 3, from, is that Crane and Company? Crane and Companies?
Yeah, they're with On 3 now, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they're with them now.
I was about to say C-SPAN, but I see it's Crane and Company now.
Oh,
Yahoo,
yeah.
ESPN, Fox, The Athletic, CBS, USA Today, and Sports Nation. I would probably throw Pate and Clad in there, but if we're gonna do Crane and Company, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's
you
good.
Do you?
But you take all those way too earlys and you combine them in there, and that's where you get the composite, and Alabama slides in at 16 there. Now in the 12-team playoff, that's not going to make the playoffs.
It is not. They'll need the early 16-team plan to get in,
and that's not happening coming up in 2012.
But I will also point out that we've done this exercise. I believe Indiana and Miami were probably in your composite 15 to 25 category. So, take heart if you find yourself in that area. The two teams that play for the national championship are in that area.
Yep.
In the preseason.
Ohio State, Indiana, Texas, Georgia, Oregon, the top 5 for those that are audio only today. Notre Dame, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Miami, Oklahoma in the top 10. Then BYU 11, LSU, Ole Miss 12 and 13, and sort of the transfer spots for the 12-team playoff. So 3 SEC teams guaranteed in, and 4 SEC teams guaranteed in, and then LSU, Ole Miss trying to be that 5th team.
I mean, do you have a first blush? I'm not holding you to this, just first blush.
Oklahoma to drop
That's
out of the top 10.
Probably the play to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at number 10, so it'd be the easiest one.
Yep.
But first blush, Oklahoma probably. I'm not huge on Mateer, as you know.
To be unranked.
I mean, this is not the AP poll; it's the AP, but this is representative of probably what you're going to see. But for those that don't know the trend, it is a long-running trend that a top 10 team finishes unranked in the preseason AP. Yeah, Oklahoma probably is your easy play there. I mean, some people are going to go logos and go Texas Tech, but boy, I think Texas Tech's schedule there, I think they're built to stay at least in that discussion.
They by far had the easiest Big 12 schedule when it came out.
Yep.
After that, I would probably go with Texas A&M. That just the SEC just eats them up.
Yeah. And Marcel Reed, there were times Marcel Reed was really, really good, and then there were times Marcel Reed, first half of the South Carolina game, the entire playoff game against Miami, he was a liability for them.
Yeah, Tyler, before we hit the spotlight, I'll go through the rest of it for the audio version as I was doing. BYU 11, LSU 12, Ole Miss, Michigan 14, USC 15, then Alabama, Penn State, Utah, Washington, Louisville at 16 through 20, and then the bottom half of the top 25 composite, SMU, Iowa, Missouri, Houston, and Vanderbilt. Now, the composite has Missouri and Vandy hanging in the top 25. It'll be interesting to see if Vandy, and a little bit Missouri, but Vandy can end up staying in that conversation as a top 25 team. All interesting there from our friends at On3 Sports. Let's do the spotlight today. Hit it, Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shannara Spotlight each day presented by our guy Alexander Shannara, Trial Attorneys. You know by now that he handles personal injury cases. But what you might not know is he handles a slew of cases beyond just that. Claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
I believe that everybody on the show and the majority of our chat room is okay with this.
Oh, boy.
But Deion Sanders is fining players from their NIL money for a list of things that they do wrong throughout the course of the season. I believe the chat room would be in an easy majority that this is okay, even though they're college athletes. Here's the list of the fines. If you missed Deion in his introduction to his new team, late to practice, that'll cost you $500. If you're no-shows, $2,500. You're late to a meeting or film, it's $400. If you don't show up for a meeting or film session, it's $2,000. Late to conditioning is $1,000. No show at conditioning, $1,500. Late to treatment, $1,000. No show at treatment, $1,500. Violation of team rules, anywhere between $1,000 and $2,500. In a public or social misconduct, $2,000 to $5,000. You okay with this?
I mean, it's almost cheaper for me to miss practice than anything, or be late to practice than anything. I am okay with the concept of this. Now, one of the things people have pointed out is, I don't know if legality is the correct word here. I don't know if it's a legal issue, but the lack of any sort of CBA, a lot of people are questioning, can he even do this without a collective bargaining agreement?
I would say that if in my NIL, when I signed with Colorado,
this was spelled out?
That this
I'm going to tell you, I bet it wasn't. I bet this is a late ad. I bet most guys that signed with Colorado didn't sign anything that said, here's our fine schedule, by the way. But I could be wrong about that. Who knows? We'll probably know at some point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If it wasn't on there, there's no way I'm paying a fine.
Yeah, but I'm with you. Like, if there were a fine schedule laid out and I signed it, my agent said, yep, sign that and agree to it. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue against it at that point. I have seen that brought up, is that without a CBA, this is interesting territory to be in, I guess is the best way to put it. But then I've also seen other people say, Deion ain't alone. There are already schools doing this. It just hasn't been made public like Deion has made it public. So apparently this was already going on. I know a lot of people are okay with it. So apparently it was going on in other places.
See, I didn't know that. So.
I saw, was it David Hell? You know who David Hell is?
Yeah, ESPN.
I think it was him that I saw retweet this and say some other coaches are already doing this. They just haven't been public about it. Deion's public about a lot of things. But this was already going on in some places. Because, I mean, these are easy fines because now some of these NIL deals are front-loaded, but there's a lot of these NIL deals where you're being paid as you go. So but now you back it out of that.
See, it's not a fine, I guess, it's almost a garnishment at that point. If you're not paying me $500.
Yeah, it almost hurts more if I get the money and then have to give it back to you. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, me having to write a check or you running my student union card for $500.
Yeah.
That hurts a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd rather you take it out of my paycheck than me get the paycheck and have to turn around and write the check back to you.
Yeah.
It does feel different. I don't disagree with you.
That's our Spotlight today, brought to you by Alexander Shinara in college football. A couple other notes from college football. LSU, according to most, have the number one portal class. We didn't talk about it yesterday, but they got Jordan Seaton, the kid from Colorado, who is the best offensive lineman and the number 4 overall player in the portal. That goes with Sam Levitt, who some consider to be the number 1 quarterback, and Prince Uman Milan from Ole Miss, who's considered to be the best edge rusher in the portal. So LSU, the best portal roster, according to some. 42 players in the portal in numbers behind only Oklahoma State and tied with Colorado for the most number of players out of the portal.
I don't know how he can build this roster and pay what they have paid for this roster. And with his coaching pedigree and his coaching track record, and you don't look at this team and say it's national championship or bust. I mean, do you feel that way about them? They didn't even go to the playoffs.
I do not, because of this reason. I think we can get in. And I'd love to hear what the chat says about this.
Okay.
And
they were on board with the fines, by the way, in case you wondered. Yeah.
I never have the chat up in front of me anymore just because of all the things I'm doing. So please let me know what the chat is saying here.
All right.
There is if you're picking from the portal, those are not always the best players. Now, I believe Cam Coleman could make a run for being the best receiver in college football.
Okay.
I think you can make a case that Jordan Seaton maybe could be the best. Just because you're the 4th best player in the portal and the best offensive line in the portal, that's not saying you're the best offensive lineman in college football. So basically, what you're saying, Brown, is I've got the best free agent class in the NFL. That doesn't mean I have the best team in the NFL, in my opinion.
Okay,
so
fair.
So he's got 42 guys from different schools that is now on his roster. I don't necessarily say that makes LSU have the best roster.
Okay, no, that's completely fair. So to your point, like Cam Coleman was the best available receiver in the portal. We just showed you an All-American team, even with Cam Coleman at a place like Texas, that says Jeremiah Smith and Malachi Toney are subjectively better receivers.
Yeah, and
Cam Coleman, I would agree with that, by the way.
I would too, but Cam Coleman may be next.
He could be.
Or he could be 4th or 5th,
That's
so
right.
he's darn good. But of these 42 players joining LSU, they're not all Jordan Seaton and the equivalent of Cam Coleman. Sam Levitt is supposed to be good, but did Sam Levitt take a step back last year from what he was the year before? I think he did.
He did. Now, there could be factors to that.
I mean, it's the people around you.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he lost a NFL starting running back that was really, really good that helped him a ton.
Yeah. Uman Milan from Ole Miss is really, really good. Is there a chance he's not going to be the best pass rusher, edge rusher in the SEC? There's a good chance he's not going to be.
It's possible.
Yeah. So I understand that everyone in Baton Rouge is excited about this portal class, but I think there is still another bridge to cross between you're the number one portal class and a team that's good enough to win a national championship.
And I'll make this point. You just showed us a composite All-American team there.
Yeah.
That included Ahmad Hardy as the number one running back, right, at Missouri. He came from ULM,
That's
La
right.
Monroe, in the transfer portal to Missouri. I'd have to go back and look. I don't know what Ahmad Hardy was ranked coming out of there, but he was coming out of La Monroe.
Yeah.
And was the leading rusher in the SEC this season, and according to On3, is a preseason All-American.
Yep.
Out of La Monroe. So it's not always.
He was a portal addition, though. Yeah.
No. My point though is it's not
No,
always.
I know. He wasn't the highest rated guy in the
That's
portal.
it. And he didn't come from a named school.
Right.
He didn't come from somewhere where you're like, oh yeah, I recognize that name.
Our national champion is made up of several James Madison guys.
Yeah, and a Cal quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, so not exactly coming from the name brands.
To your point that the 39 Auburn players, a lot of them from USF, and some from other schools that maybe aren't, the Texases and LSUs of the world, could end up making a better team than the 42 that LSU has.
Yeah, could.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe with as much they have spent in the portal and already having an LSU roster, that their fans aren't at least thinking national championship or bust. Is it fair? Maybe not. You make a compelling case that it's not fair.
Well,
but I know how fans act.
Well, I think if you spend the money and go through all the public discord of getting Lane Kiffin, and then you spend all this money on a portal class and all that money recruiting, then you expect to win a national championship sooner rather than later, and there is no doubt. But I think you could go, 9, 10, 11 deep, that if you're in the SEC and you can be 9, 10, 11 deep of teams that if they don't make the playoffs, they're extremely going to be disgruntled and disappointed. Maybe Auburn will give Alex Golesh a second year before they start saying we should be in the playoffs. Yeah. But last year, I think Auburn fans thought that with that Hugh Freeze roster he put together, they should have been contending for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that was year 3 for Hugh?
Yeah, Billy Napier, they thought should have been contending for the playoffs at Florida.
Yeah, but I think that is reasonable. If you're at a football school, now look, I mean, if you're taking the Kansas job, we're probably going to need to adjust expectations. But if you're taking one of the upper half SEC jobs, it is reasonable as a fan to say by year 3 we ought to be in the playoffs or darn close.
But we started the conversation with LSU with the top portal, maybe national championship or bust. I mean, that's 42 new players on a roster. That's not LSU's roster from last year anymore. That's not any LSU recruiting. That's a totally different.
It's a lot of Ole Miss's
roster. Yeah, some of it. Yeah. So that's different for LSU and Florida with John Sumrall. We showed you the excitement around him earlier, but I don't think we think that Florida roster.
No, so there's
is going to go from what it was with Billy Napier to okay, John Sumrall's there, and we think he's going to be a better coach. Well, we don't expect him to do it in year 1.
No, but if by the end of year 3, Sumrall has not made the playoffs, there are going to be people calling for his job, and I think it's a reasonable expectation. Like I would say the expectation of Kalen DeBoer was obviously to make the playoffs year 1. He did not do that. Had he not done it this year, I'm not saying he's going to get fired at the end of year 3, but you know exactly what the narrative would have been. I do think it's reasonable to a place like LSU that if Kiffin doesn't go to the playoffs within the first 3 years, something is going horribly wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's 3 years.
Yeah. I know. I'm just saying, I think the LSU fans are thinking national championship or bust. I'm saying reasonable fans would say playoff within the first 3 years or it is going horribly wrong. Like my expectation, Jim, for LSU is they make the playoffs this year. Would you have the same expectation?
I don't expect them to make the playoffs this year.
I think you had them on the cut, didn't you?
Yeah.
When we did,
they were the first team out.
First team out, okay. I probably didn't even have them in, and here I am saying my expectation is they make the playoffs.
Here is a couple of more things college football-wise to get to before we take our break, do trash coming up in the next segment. One of them, remember the name Jaden Rashada. He's now at Mississippi State. I think he was
Good luck following this.
Sacramento State last year.
Right, yeah.
Arizona State the year before that.
Florida is where he started, right? Yeah.
And he was the NIL deal gone wrong.
So those were the reports.
Back in the SEC at Mississippi State. Can I get the way too early top 25 again? Look at the number of SEC teams, and there is a reporter that thinks the SEC gets too much of a preseason AP poll hype that they don't back up during the season. So count the SEC teams with me. Texas and Georgia, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama, Missouri, Vanderbilt. That's 8 teams.
I got 9.
Which one did I miss?
I don't know. I just
Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama, Missouri, Vandy.
Yeah, it's 9.
That's 9.
Yeah, 9 out of 25 is pretty good.
Okay,
pretty good slice.
There's a guy that takes us back in a while, a reporter. First, I sent it to you. That says the SEC starts the year off with so many in the preseason AP poll, but every year, I think since the pandemic, they finish with less teams in the top 25.
Okay.
Is that an indicator that the SEC is too hyped early on?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't understand why that matters because so his argument is by the last poll, they've gotten it right. That's his argument. That would be his argument, right? But by the end of the poll, we finally got it right.
Yeah. The reporter's name right there is John Rhodes. And the SEC has not increased its number of ranked teams from the preseason AP poll to the final AP poll for 7 straight years. 6-5 and 19, 7-4, equal, 9-7 and 10 preseason ranked to 7. My preseason AP poll, and not to say John is wrong about this, is I'm writing down the 25 best teams in college football, in my opinion, when I did my preseason AP poll.
Yeah.
In last year's case, the AP said 10 of the best 25 teams in the country are in the SEC. And after the season was played, in the AP poll, 7 were still left ranked. I would venture to say if you asked people, the other 3 that were not ranked, were they the best 25 teams in America, I think you would add at least 1, maybe 2 more, maybe not all 3, but that number would go up. But because of the group of 5 and some of the other, just the way the win-loss record looks, that you end up at the end of the season feeling different about teams or feeling almost forced to put some group of 5s who happen to be 10-1, 11-1 into the mix.
Yeah. But so I'm going to tell a quick story to make my point, all right?
Okay.
Back when we were doing radio one time, I was complaining about table squatters. I don't know if you remember this. Everybody knows what I mean by table squatters, right? Like I just went to lunch last week. I can't remember the day last week. Went to lunch with a friend at a place that literally has a sign at the door that says, "Do not squat tables. Wait till you get your food to get your table." And the people behind us
almost
literally
like a meet and 3 there in Homewood.
Yeah, almost. And the people behind us, in the group behind us, literally before they ordered, and there was a line, went and put 2 tables together and one person squatted at the table. I'm like, sign at the door tells you not to do that. So I complained about it one time on the air, and I went on this rant, and I was like, man, we got our food, and we went and sat down, and somebody was like, so Brown just spent this whole time complaining, but he's still got a table. Why is he complaining? And it's a great point. Why am I complaining, right? Because ultimately it worked out and I got a table, though I still dislike table squatters. This guy's complaining about too much preseason hype, and he's saying, hey, by the last poll, we get this thing right. Newsflash, that's the only poll that matters is the last one. So if we get it right by the last poll, why does it matter where the first poll starts?
Well, I will tell you this. Can I see the composite top 25 again? And I'm going to use Alabama as an example. Alabama's 16th. Let's say that's where the AP poll starts out this year.
It's probably going to be pretty close.
Okay. So Alabama starts at 16. And if they had been 16 to start this last year and they lose to Florida State, where does Alabama go?
Florida State was still unranked in this scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the same thing. Alabama probably close to drops out. I would say 24.
Oh, I'd say they dropped out.
Okay,
if they were 16th and they lost to Florida State in that first
Let's do
game.
best case and leave them at 24 based on name brand. They stay at 24. All right.
So now Alabama's the 24th team or unranked. and they've got to work their way back up into the conversation. I think by the time we get the perception of Alabama, by the time we get to the first college football playoff committee, they're not as highly ranked as they ended up being. And I don't necessarily say that's always right, but for the people that complain about preseason rankings, Alabama started high, lost, and only dropped a certain amount. And by the time they beat Georgia, they jump all the way back up. What were they, number 4 after they beat Georgia?
They were, but let's play this out. So where's Georgia when Alabama plays them in this world that we're living in right here?
Let's say they're number 4.
They're number 4. All right, and let's say Alabama 20. Well, by the time they play Georgia, let's say they've snuck up, to 21.
Okay.
I mean, they played like 2 or 3 more games. They played Wisconsin
and Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, but people in front of them are going to lose.
Okay.
So let's say they're back up to 21. They've gone from 24 to 21. You beat number 4 Georgia. Where do you go?
Not to number 4.
No. But
like
I'm going to
they
say
did last year.
Nope. But I'm going to say they're probably back up to 11 or 12.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's a big jump, but you just beat number 4 on the road, primetime game.
And that's to the people outside the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they complain about preseason rankings. Now, I always think by the time we get to, if they want to start in week 4, week 6, whatever, that the poll's going to look exactly the way the poll's going to look.
That's what we always tell people. You think the ratings shouldn't start until November. All right, first Saturday in November, you sit down and do your top 25, and you tell me how different it is than the one we've got.
Yeah, or than the college football playoffs when they start theirs.
That's right.
But the perception of Alabama next year, when they lose their first game, likely they're not going to be as high as they normally are. How far do they fall? It'll be interesting to watch to see what Alabama gets in the polls and where they are by the time the first college football rankings come out. Different place for Alabama to start next year, for sure.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, a couple of NFL notes, and we'll get to trash. The show today being brought to you by the great folks at Crane U. Brownie, tell us about how you could consider changing your career.
Yeah, changing your career or getting better in your career is Crane U. That's what they do. They get the crane training that you need today. You want a career or you need further training to advance your current one? Our friends at Crane U offer comprehensive, state-of-the-art, fully stocked training facilities for mobile cranes, overhead lifts, or forklift training. You want to use your own equipment? Good news. Crane U will come to you. They do on-site, on-location training, and they make it available nationwide. Go anywhere nationwide. So make your job easier, your job site safer by using Crane U. They offer certification, safety inspections to ensure the safest environment possible to make sure your workplace is as safe as it can be. Classes are available monthly, so you can find out more by calling 855-CRANE-U. Mention the next round. You heard it here. You get 10% off. 855-CRANE-U or online, craneu.com. That's 855-CRANE-U or online at craneu.com.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts World of Wheels, January 30th through February 1st at the BJCC. With customs, classics, hot rods, and more. Don't miss the Golden Riders motorcycle stunt team, plus BMX stunt teams performing outrageous stunts live. Friday, meet WWE star Rikishi. Saturday is Kevin Mack from Counts Customs. And Sunday, meet TV host Courtney Hansen. Bring the kids for free Hot Wheels racing, costume characters, rides, and more. Get discount tickets at all O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Details at worldofwheels.net.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time. It's bow time. The Bojangles Chicken Rice Bowl is back. Get dirty rice, slow-cooked Cajun pintos, cheese, and your choice of chicken for just $7.49. But order now. It's only here for a limited time. It's bow time.
Hey, by the way, Ohio State's going to have, at least the way it stands right now, still some more NFL staffs to be completed, but they're going to have former NFL head coach Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator, former NFL head coach Matt Patricia as their defensive coordinator, unless either one of those guys get scooped up in any more of the NFL coaching changes. Joe Brady added today as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, and that leaves Arizona, Las Vegas, and Cleveland with openings.
Reports, I think from Schefter first to report this, that it looks like Brian Dable is going to the Titans as offensive coordinator. I like that staff, by the way. Robert Saleh is head coach, Titans.
That's a good hire.
Yeah, and Dable is the OC. Because you had thought Dable might get the Bills job, he was certainly mentioned, and it is going to move quickly now that they've gotten Brady. Dable was not going to go unemployed. That guy's respected offensive mind in the NFL in spite of what happened at the Giants. Him getting fired. I mean, it's not like they were terrible on offense.
Arthur Smith had a job this year, and but obviously his staff lost their job. It'll be interesting to see, if those guys become college head coaches at some point. I don't think any of us thought Matt Patricia would be back for a second year at Ohio State, but he is.
I also didn't think he would be this successful in his first year.
Yeah.
I thought there would be a little bit of a downgrade from Jim Knowles to him, and if anything, they got better defensively, I thought.
And Gary Patterson did end up officially getting added as USC's defensive coordinator, longtime TCU head coach, and assisted Texas at one point with their defensive staff when they turned it around. And we didn't talk about it yesterday, but over the weekend, with all the Bediako talk, Mo Toure of Miami, who led the team in tackles last year, I think, was granted an 8th season of eligibility.
It's remarkable. I don't know the whole story. I know obviously one of those years is going to be the COVID year that didn't count against his eligibility.
And 2 years at Rutgers where he had season-ending injuries.
So he basically got 2 medical red shirts.
2 medical red shirts the COVID year.
And then and now 5 additional healthy years.
23, 24, 25, 26 to go with the COVID and the 2 injuries.
It's remarkable. It really is.
Yeah.
8 years.
Yep.
I mean,
and the last 4 of them healthy.
Yeah. Good for him. I guess the kid really enjoys playing college. Well, kid. What is he, 20? He's got to be 26, right? 26 or 27 by the time the season goes.
I would say a 25 or 26.
Yeah. So he's not a kid, but, I mean, the guy really, really likes to play football. It's just wild to me, and I get injuries. That should be considered. But that Trinidad Chambliss is having to sue to get one more year, and this guy gets 8.
Yep.
I mean, I know there are different circumstances. I know Chambliss played at Ferris State and wasn't injured, and this guy was injured at Rutgers. But it's just crazy that Chambliss is having to sue for another year, and this guy is getting an 8th year. It's just weird.
By the way, the Super Bowl coming up, if you go by where these players were when they were drafted, and Brooks, I think I'm right about this. Did you send out a graphic on this? You send out so many graphics, I forget. But the most number of players in the Super Bowl, that's Super Bowl starting quarterback appearances there. That's one that you sent out. Michigan with 10 on down the list, Alabama there. But participants in this year's Super Bowl, Alabama leads the way with 7 former players. And several with 6, on down, multiples with 3. If you're wondering for New England, C.J. Dupree, tight end, Christian Barmore, defensive tackle, Anthony Jennings, linebacker, Auburn's Carlton Davis, big factor there on the corner. For Seattle, Jalen Milroe, Robbie Oates, fullback, tight end, Jaron Reed plays a big role in the defensive line, Josh Jobe, you saw him making plays in the secondary. And for Auburn, Derek Hall and Nehemiah Pritchett are big players there as well. Those are Super Bowl participants, 7 from Alabama, 3 from Auburn.
You know, in the NFL, in the AFC championship game, Q Robinson made a really big play for Denver on Drake May. And I'm like, man, that guy was good at Alabama. He was never just like, oh, yeah, can't miss NFL guy. And there he is. It's just crazy. Sometimes once those guys get in the NFL, the light comes on for them.
And, it's a running joke that the NFL puts out a script now. There's no proof, it's obviously a joke.
but when stuff like this happens.
They sent out a graphic on September 4th to start the year, and I think it was all the quarterbacks. No, it was just big stars from each team. Biggest star from each team. And the Lombardi Trophy is in the future, is out on the horizon, and the graphic came out on September 4th from the NFL office, and closest to the trophy,
front of the line,
way off in the distance, is the 2 quarterbacks that'll be starting in the Super Bowl. Closest to the trophy in Sam Darnold and, of course, Drake May.
I mean, you gotta zoom in, but that's who's there now. Saquon Barkley is the most prominently displayed.
That's right.
And Patrick Mahomes is among the first 5 guys you see. I mean, it is. I've never believed there's a script. Obviously, there's no way you would keep that quiet. But it is weird. You would send out a graphic, and everybody's looking at the Lombardi Trophy, and the 2 guys in the front of the line are Sam Darnold and Drake May.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of good players behind him.
I do feel like Baker Mayfield is very close. We were so close.
No, that's what I was noticing. I was like, okay, well, who do we have on the front line here? Well, we've got
Cam
Ward, Sam Darnold, Drake May, Malik Neighbors from the Giants, and Baker Mayfield.
Yep. And
I was trying to make sense of it.
Is that a Dolphin, number 12 or 42?
No, that's Travis Hunter from the
Jaguars.
Yeah, from the Jags.
Yeah, but
those
2 are further out front than that next line.
Oh, there's no doubt. They are the front 2. I mean, it's as if you built this knowing how the playoffs turned out, and you didn't just necessarily stack them up by the way they finished, but you've still got the 2 AFC and NFC champion out front.
But Forrester, you build graphics. The guys in the front who are bigger, those are the ones that you expect people to pay attention to. Those are the real stars, right?
Yeah, Saquon's obviously the main focal point of this thing.
Pull it back out to the original size graphic.
I mean, again, you got Patrick Mahomes as the biggest star in the league, and he's in basically one of the most prominent positions because, to your point, you're paying more attention to the guys. Well, you should be paying more attention to the guys closest to you.
And what was that first Thursday night game? It was Barkley in Philadelphia, obviously. Who'd they play? I forget.
I'd have to go back.
It was Dallas, was it? Yeah, I played Dallas.
Eagles in Dallas was that Thursday night game. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Dak, not too far in the crowd. Just thought that was a weird graphic.
It is, and when there's the conspiracy that the league is scripted, when the preseason graphic shows the two Super Bowl quarterbacks basically in the front of the line, it does pour fuel on the fire of the league being scripted.
Boy, and
I just don't know why you would script it for Seattle. Does that make any sense to you? I can understand scripting it for New England. What's the purpose of scripting it for Seattle?
Well, I don't even give the time of day on thinking about
but when you start thinking about it, trust me, if the NFL could pick, they would much rather have the LA viewing market having a team in this thing.
Oh, Rams New England would have been a better draw.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle's the better team. I'm fine with Seattle being in it. I'm just saying if you're looking to build a TV draw, they would much rather have the Rams than Seattle. And the only reason you would script something is for a TV draw to make money.
A $1 million bet at Circa in Vegas. Patriots on the money line. A $1 million bet. Plus 188. He would win $3.2 million if the bet hits. That's a lot of risk. I mean, if I've got $1 million, am I risking $1 million just to make $2.2 million?
Now, this is where if Lance were here, and if you'll bring this back up tomorrow, he can explain to us how you would bet just to conserve your $1 million. So I guess you bet $1 million on the money line of the Seahawks to win, right? So you're at least guaranteed $1 million. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you've got $1 million riding on the Patriots having to win outright, and that wins you $3 million. If you turn around and put another $1 million on the money, I'm thinking this is the way you would do it, another $1 million on the money line of Seattle to win, that guarantees you at least get your $1 million back. Or
actually, you'd lose a little.
But enough that it's worth the risk. Or you get New England winning, and now you've netted, instead of 2.2, you've netted 1.2. That's still a pretty good payday.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and Forster's big into uniforms. There's no way the NFL could give us the best uniform combination of New England and Seattle, right, Forster? Would they mandate that we get the best two uniforms?
I don't know if the teams have a choice in this matter. You would think the NFL would tell you what to wear, right?
No, I think the teams choose.
Do they really?
You think the NFL tells you what to wear?
It wouldn't surprise me. This is their event.
Boy, if you could give me old school Crouching Patriot.
Yep.
Versus original 1976-77 Seattle Seahawks.
I love that Seahawks uniform.
That'd be a great uniform matchup.
I love that Seahawks uniform. The old Steve Largent era Seahawks uniform was
the original
fantastic.
Yeah, original uniform.
Yeah. And, I didn't love, when I was a kid, I didn't love Pat the Patriot snapping the ball as much as I do now. It was just their normal uniform then. It didn't stand out to me. But once they started changing their uniform, that was such a good look.
Yeah. They've got a horrible uniform, I think.
Who the
Patriots?
I agree. They messed it up. I mean, their throwback that they are wearing in that photo is fantastic, but it's not better than the Seahawks throwback.
Scott, do you like the Patriots uniform? That silver helmet and that blue and that silver.
No, I do not like the Patriots uniforms at all. But I do like the Seahawks. I don't know that they've had a bad uniform.
That's right. The optic green with the darker blue. That's not a bad uniform.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
See, I actually like their current uniform better than that one.
I don't know if I go better.
I'm not going to go that far.
But I also like it.
Because of the silver helmet. There's just so many silver helmets. There's the one in Dallas, the one in Detroit.
Vegas,
Carolina.
Yeah, there are a lot of silver helmets.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you on that. So. That's a better uniform, though. I don't hate their current uniform, but the throwback Seahawks is better than their current.
Yeah, that'd be a good-looking Super Bowl on the field.
Yeah.
In a crappy stadium, probably rain in Santa Clara. All right, that gets us to Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision Brownie.
969-8100, that is the number to call, and see if you can set up, when calling Amy, an evaluation to see if you're a candidate for LASIK vision. If you are, or LASIK surgery to enhance your vision. If you are, you need to use the Michelsons. Dr. Mark and Jennifer Michelson, that is a father-daughter team. They are known as pioneers in the field of LASIK surgery. They help Lance. Lance was basically blind as a bat and has fighter pilot vision after LASIK surgery. That can be a gift for you in the year of 2026. See this year better from our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. MichelsonLaserVision.com or 969-8100. Tell Amy you want to get that vision like Lance has. She'll get you squared right away for that evaluation from the Michelsons. MichelsonLaserVision.com or 969-8100. Oh, Tyler.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Get your hand off my penis!
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Tyler, do we have a photo for the first story? I'm not going to say who it is. Does it say who it is on the photo?
It does not.
Okay, I want to pull the photo up and see if Dunaway can tell me who we're looking at. All right. This is a new look for what is. Don't look yet because he might have it labeled right there. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. Do you know who this is, Jim? This is a video. Have you seen this story? You know this guy. He's just got a different look now. Now, this is a stunt, and it almost looks AI. Do you know who that is? It's going to blow your mind if you don't know who it is.
It's 100% AI. Dun, 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 dun.
You'll never get it. And it's going to, but when I tell you, you'll see it.
No, hold on.
Okay. I would say B-list celebrity, Tyler. C-list celebrity.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
You could throw it around there.
Yeah.
He is
also involved in politics.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. Mayor, in fact.
He's a mayor? You're throwing Dunaway off now. Don't do that.
He was the Tim the Two-Man Taylor assistant.
Oh,
the guy with the beard.
Borland?
Al, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a terrible guess, actually. Al Borland. No, this is Guy Fieri, the mayor of Flavortown, the diners, drive-ins, and dives guy.
Oh, I never knew what Guy Fieri looked like.
Oh, you don't know what he
looks like? Like one of the crazy visors you find at
him.
a
He's got the
novelty
sticky
store.
up hair, the gray.
Yeah, that's what
you know what he really looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to assume they all look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So how's this him?
This is his look. Now, again, this does look AI to me. This is his look without the dyed hair, without the facial hair. This is what he would look like.
But no, I see him at events. He doesn't look anything like that.
Well, because he's got all the other hair. He's got the dyed hair and all that. This is if he didn't have any of that. He says, after years of celebrating my birthday as Guy, I figured this year I'd celebrate it as just a guy. Happy birthday to me. Fieri's son, Hunter, had a playful take on the business look, writing, "Dad, when do you start selling insurance?" He shared an image of this clip from his own Instagram story saying, "Happy birthday to the mayor. Love you, Dad. Just a guy." I don't think he's actually done this look. Have we gotten to the bottom of this? Is this just AI of what he would look like?
Yeah.
If it is AI, every one of his pages is going along with it. And
I mean, it sounds like his son put this together and sent it to you. You want to be just a guy, Dad. Here's the way you would look as an insurance salesman.
People have quit paying attention to us momentarily. Let's spice it up for
I'm
something.
going to see if we've got any updates.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives is what Guy Fieri is known for.
Oh, it's going to be for a Super Bowl ad.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So it's real. It's just not real in the sense that he's going to walk out like that tomorrow.
Yeah, he's going to live the rest of his life like that. He's going to go back to his old look, or he still hasn't. This is just AI. People think I got tattoos and bleached my hair because I was going to be on TV, he said. I made those great decisions before I got on TV. So his current look was the look he had before he got on TV, he says. Nobody, at least on this panel, can remember before he was on TV. Georgia lawmakers have introduced a bill that would make lemon pepper the official chicken wing flavor of the state. House Bill 1013, filed by Georgia State House. State Representative Eric Bell, who represents parts of Metro Atlanta. The proposal says the wing flavor is culturally significant to Georgia and highlights its roots in Atlanta food culture.
I would tell you this, with everything going on in the world, these type things actually being discussed in state or national government areas drive me absolutely crazy. And I know they mean nothing, but just to take up the time, even if it's just 60 seconds, of time in session to spend on something like this drives me crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, this is you. It's not going to take up much time on the House floor. I mean, this
I
is
don't
gonna
care
be
if
presented,
it only takes up 60 seconds for them to draw this up and have a public discussion that is on the public record.
What about
is asinine to me?
What about when the legendary women's basketball coach at Eastside High retires and we do the reading to commend her for her great job? Does that bother you too?
It does not excite me. No.
So if it's not like passing a law or something like that, you don't want to waste any time.
Once we fix everything else, I mean, I would love it to be just a single resolution bill,
right?
To where here is what this bill is about. There's one thing on this, and if there's
right.
16 other things we have to do to fix
16
this,
more.
We need 15 other bills.
But I got my lemon pepper bill. I'm sorry, that's
this
gonna have
is
to
the
wait.
one bill about this one thing.
Yeah.
And then instead of you adding 12 things onto this one bill, let's go with this one bill that's very
Right.
simple, and let's vote on this. Let's get this right, and then we'll go to bill number 2 that in the current days would be stacked on all in this one big, beautiful bill, right? That's just huge. Well, let's look at it one at a time, and let's get a lot of good stuff done.
Right.
And then we'll fight on the fringes later on. But let's get all the meat and potatoes done, and then we'll worry about the lemon chicken pepper.
Do you guys like lemon pepper wings?
You know, I don't know that I've ever had them.
I do not.
Really?
Yeah.
Hate them. My buddy Johnny, that is his go-to flavor anytime we sit down. He likes some dry lemon. Is it lemon pepper? Lemon pepper dry rub. That's his favorite.
Representative Bell says lemon pepper wings have become a staple of Southern cuisine in Atlanta and across Georgia. It's one of the, it's probably, there's 100 food items in Atlanta I think of before I get to lemon pepper wings.
Yep.
They're apparently known for Magic City, which I believe is a gentleman's club over there. There was an NBA player that said he likes their lemon pepper wings, and everybody's like, that's not why you go there. I'm trying to remember who the player was.
Was it Lemon Pepper Lou?
Well, that's the guy that does them, right? I don't know.
No, Lou Williams.
Lou Williams, that's right. That's who it was. Lemon Pepper Lou, yeah. And everybody was like, Lou, that's not why you're going to Magic City. You get lemon pepper wings a lot of you go to Wingstop and get those.
Well, Travis Kelce was catching some heat a while back because in an interview he was like, "Oh yeah, I really like the wings they had at like the strip club in this city."
Yeah, and they were getting on to him because
all the Swifties were real mad.
Oh no, don't upset the Swifties. A new report has found that nearly a third of children are starting school unable to use books properly, with some attempting to swipe or tap pages if they were smartphones. I have done this. I have been this is an honest admission. Honest admission. I have been holding a actual paper photo and have done the little finger thing where you zoom in on the paper. I have 100% done that. I'm not going to act like I haven't.
Wow.
I've reached out and I'm like, oh, you can't zoom in on that photo. And it is so frustrating, like if you're holding a written piece of paper and you can't see the photo well, you're like, I wish I could zoom in on this. How do I see this better? Unfortunately, kids are doing this too. The finding comes from a survey of primary school staff carried out by early years charity Kindred Squared that says almost a third of pupils who began reception last year could not handle books correctly. The same survey reported that 1 in 4 children were not toilet trained when they started school. That's got nothing to do with smartphones. While around 28% were unable to eat or drink independently.
Yeah. I would say even to the book. The other two much more important, but
yes,
even to the book, that starts with bad parenting.
I would agree. I mean, if you haven't taught your kids how to eat properly or get them toilet trained by the time they start school, there's been an issue there.
And then, I mean, at some point, if they haven't picked up a book and been able to flip through a book and understand that it's a book, then by the time they're 5 years old, going off to kindergarten, probably not doing it right.
Did you like as a kid the smell of like the big like do you remember, did your cheerleaders, did they have the big bucket with a little paint thing? Did you like the smell of that when they were doing the cheerleading signs? Or was it the fact that the cheerleaders were in there?
No, I like that smell. I like the smell of gasoline.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I like gasoline too.
Yeah. Do you like smell of like glue?
Don't love glue.
Yeah.
But I did like that high-end ink.
Yeah,
and,
it did smell good.
I like gasoline smell. What else did I used to huff?
Well, I'll see if this is one of them. Robert Pattinson has confirmed a long-running and oddly specific fan curiosity, admitting that he really did used to like the smell of crayons.
I was about to say crayons.
Yeah.
But see, in my day, they came out with scented crayons. When you colored strawberry color, it smelled like strawberries.
Almost like scratch and sniff.
Watermelon, it smelled like watermelon.
Yeah.
Boy, that was in the old days. I don't know if they still do that.
I don't know if kids even use them anymore, unless they're at a restaurant.
I remember they were still a thing when I was in school, but I don't know if the kids of today, these Gen Alphas,
I know. They don't do anything right anymore.
I don't know if they use any pencils.
Yeah. Actually, I've got a 6th grader. She uses a pencil, so that's good. Mechanical pencil.
Those were the best.
Yeah, I know. And finally, a local story. Alabama police made a surprise discovery earlier this month when they seized nearly 7 dozen gallons of moonshine during a routine traffic stop. According to the Ozark Criminal Investigations Bureau, that's the OCIB, Ozark police officer Dylan Griffin pulled over 61-year-old Leandris Hamilton for a traffic violation January 9th. While speaking with Hamilton, Griffin said he noticed multiple containers in plain sight in the vehicle, prompting a deeper investigation which uncovered 81 gallons of illegally distilled moonshine. Hamilton was traveling through Alabama from Florida when his final destination, not clear to police. Authorities say he would have most likely sold a large amount of illegal alcohol wherever he ended up. The moonshine possessed by Hamilton was a violation of Alabama law due to the quantity. Hamilton was arrested at the scene, and the investigation has since been turned over to the Alabama Beverage Control Board. He had a long way to go in a short time to get there, Jim.
He did. Boy,
that's a lot of moonshine.
That is.
I feel like you got a little bit aggressive in your. You probably should have done 2 trips right there, and you'd have been okay.
Probably should have just said it was cleaning fluid, and I'm taking it back, and we're going to sell it to local schools and churches for dry erase boards and
all right, sir. Keep on moving.
Disinfecting the child care areas.
Thank you for driving through Dothan, sir. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that's our trash today. Brought to you in part by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Sterling and the crew, Highway 119 in Alabaster, open for lunch today. Get by and see them. Enjoy a nice hot meal. Cooked to order, including those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Hey, don't forget tonight, Alabama, number 23 in the rankings, playing host to Missouri, 7 o'clock. Alabama, 10.5-point favorite in that contest. Nate Oates said yesterday they got to stop sitting around and waiting to get healthy before they start playing good basketball. So he wants them despite the injuries. Looks like Holloway will play, Allen likely. A game-time decision, or maybe sits out another game before Alabama plays Sunday at Florida. Tough task for the Tide ahead. So we'll give you a reaction to the game and Bediako Part 2 tomorrow on the show. Lance expected to be back with us. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.